Yeah.
Should we just hit it?
Wait a minute. Where's the promo?
Where's the ID?
Where's the ID? Where's the promo? Where's the beef, man? Where's the something, Geldy? Geldy's turning like Mo Jr. Neil Rogers show is next. That's what we're supposed to hear there, Geldy. You little twerp. Ask you, what was that? What
That
just
was a
happened?
new one on me.
He just got up and walked out?
Well, maybe they didn't know that they were supposed to fire an ID off after that.
I stick motherfucking provolone in my socks at night so they smell like your sister's crotch in the morning.
That's what happens when you get the goddamn food in the way, Zach. Put down the goddamn food already, Fatso.
Condoleezza, Chevron Mooley. With your funky yellow teeth so far apart.
They stunk.
Condoleezza, what you be doing? Yes, neo-fascists like that token Schwarz's dog. Is you dead 'cause you a high-toned boot-lip Negro? Is you the blackie and your mammy who be smart? Does they like how you shine their shoes, Condoleezza? All the way you wash and park the whitest cars. Georgie Jr. said he trusts you, Condoleezza. You sell our allies on the greedy oil wall. But then he make you clean all the White House bathrooms. The tub, the sink, the toilet, and then scrub the floor.
They stunk.
They tell you don't wear sandals, Condoleezza. Your cold chip toenails make them wanna retch and puke. Your nappy leg hair look just like it be Velcro. The GOP want you to be their token spook. Yes. One day while you be flipping pancakes, you may realize that they're treating you just like your escarole. That's when your head will move from side to side, Condoleezza. And tell Bush and Rummy they be cracker assholes.
Yeah, that was pretty weak there, Gildy. You know something? I don't want to start bitching about him, too, now, just because he's on there consorting with Mo most mornings. I'm glad he didn't get Jugs McDonald's job, you know what? That Gildy?
It was Zach's fault.
What do you mean by that?
He's the one that's supposed to fire off the ID.
I'm not talking about firing off the ID. I'm talking about the abrupt, like, right before that. You know? So if he took another 5 seconds, hey, the fat faggot's coming up next and Mad Dog, you know, we got a whole lineup of people coming on here, you know? Not just some little twerp talking about ball games. How about those ball games, huh? Oh! Now, even George is excited about it. Now, not that he watched them, but he feels it in the air. You don't feel it?
What?
Oh, come on. Saturday and last night, that had to be two of the most electric games in the history of the sports, even if you don't like sports.
There were games?
The Hurricanes and the Seminoles. Oh, by the way, you know what I forgot to mention? Of all the important things.
Florida State sucks.
Yeah, nice going, Bobby Bowden. You should have gone for two, you moron. You got out-coached, you idiot. But anyway, right down to the end. And this time, at least, it wasn't wide right, which is Florida State. Every year against the Hurricanes lately, wide right with a field goal. This time it was wide left because of that bad snap. Boy, it's a good thing for the Hurricanes they didn't have a good snap because that kid would have kicked that right through the middle. And then last night, as if that wasn't enough excitement to keep you... Oh, and let me say it again, greatest name in the history of sports, even better than Extra Hip. Ethnic Sands. The Hurricane star receiver, Ethnic Sands, he'd be having good hands, that Ethnic Sands. And it'd be spelled E-T-H-E-N-I-C. Ethnic. Huh? He's kind of like Rachel Schwartz. Is that Rachel or Rachel? How do you be saying that, huh? And, of course, also in the game with Ethnic Sands was Rufus Jones. Now, I don't want to tell dark folks what you ought to name your kids, okay? But Rufus is probably not a real good idea. Even Shufro, at least, is a little bit humorous, you know? But
Tyrone.
Yeah, Tyrone is, but Rufus just do not be good, okay? That'd be a good, dark name. Ethnic Sands. Okay, have you ever heard a name like that in your life?
No, that's a new one.
And then last night, as I started to say, and guess who the star, now you can guess who the star for the Dolphins was last night. Olindo
Mare.
Mare. Very good. See, George don't even follow sports. And how about those, see,
Uh-oh.
I got off of that thing and I'm in the wrong place. How about those freaking Patriots yesterday?
They stunk.
Wow, talk about an embarrassment. I don't want to get too sports intensive, but it was a heavy-duty week. So for South Florida, the Panthers win in overtime in Atlanta 5-4. Oh, and I should mention Matthew Baron is the younger brother of Marty Baron. He's the young defenseman on the Panthers who hasn't played a minute yet. Hey, Denny, pot fan, we can't figure out what you're talking about. Nobody has a clue what you're saying, including yourself. Matthew Baron. But anyway, so the Panthers win in overtime in Atlanta. The Hurricanes win in a just nail-biting, gut-wrenching fourth quarter, the record crowd at the Orange Bowl. And last night in Denver, right there in Denver, the Dolphins pull it out of their ass. Denver kicks a 55-yard, Jason Elam kicks a 55-yard field goal with just seconds left in the game, 45 seconds, to put Denver ahead by a point. Miami gets the ball. There's that Jewish kid with the big ears from Dartmouth, Jay Fiedler, who nobody wants to give any credit. And there's the play of this whole season. Right through that Schwarz's, the linebacker's hands, number 51. That's a bad number to be wearing, you know what I'm saying? You know who used to wear that number? Brian Cox. I could put the thing on there, but I want to leave it for the Patriots, because that was embarrassing right there in New England, okay, boys? You can't complain about their running defense because they don't have any. Man, my grandma could run for 15 yards a carry through that defense. But nevertheless, so it was a very traumatic sports weekend. And don't you feel it in the air? That's why talk about pulling the air out of a balloon. I guess Geldy must have sucked all the helium out of the balloon. That's why it sounds like that. Because there was none left by 9 o'clock. We get nothing, man. We don't even get like hey, here's the asshole. Nothing. Even a monkey, the organ grinder, we got nothing. Is that in there? What do you put that under?
Organ grinder.
Organ grinder. We don't even get that now. Like I said, Geldy, you backstabber. You're not getting Jug's job. We're going to make damn sure of that. Oh, we sure missed that old morning crew, you know what? I'm not talking about the first team. I'm talking about the morning sickness crew. Ron Hershey Highway. Poor Carolyn that got knocked up the hall. I said knocked up the hall. I didn't say got knocked up. Who else? And Geldy. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, okay? We don't miss Geldy. Not after that pathetic lead-in this morning. That was weak, man. Somebody ought to be spanking you out in the hall right now, Geldy. I'd like to see Duff put him over his knee right now and spank him. In fact, Duff could put him over his knee and Clarence could spank him now that we got all these hot shots around here. Wouldn't you love to see that?
No.
I'd pay big bucks to see that. Give him a little spanking. You'd probably enjoy it. 1,193 votes on the poll from Friday, and you people out there, man, you just... See, this is another part of my being back here, which, believe me, ain't going to last too long, folks. This ain't going to last too long. This place is the end of the universe. And being here, being in this building, I never... Up until this time, because the 2 previous times when I came back, in April and in June, whenever it was, I guess it was 3, it was for like 5 days. It was for a few, and I knew it was only going to be for a few days. So psychologically, you can say to yourself, oh, big deal, I'm doing 3 shows, I'm getting back out of here. But now that I'm supposed to be here for 4.5 months, or at least alleged, it's like being on death row. You've got to be kidding me. You have to be joking me. This place is it's like the land of the walking dead. You can feel it, you can smell it. So the fact that we got all those big victories over the weekend in sports, even if you don't like sports, it's got to be something, okay? Better than anything else going on here. And being in this building, just, woo, heavy, heavy duty. Even just having to see your close personal friend the other day with his 800 suit. You know who I'm talking about?
Greg.
Yeah, him. That's depressing. That's mortifying. It's debilitating. 1,193 votes in a poll. The tone of Neil's show is, well, let me do it after the break, okay? Because I want to go into it at great length. And we might just take calls for 4 hours today. I don't know. That's what they want when I'm here. When I'm not here, see, when I was in Toronto, it seemed to me, correct me if I'm wrong, it seemed to me like things are going along sensational. We were getting phenomenal response on our website. Everything seemed to be really rolling along, you know what?
Yeah.
And then I came back here, and it's like, holy crap, man. It's like, in spite of what they say on the poll, which we'll get to, in spite of their observations, I think things were going a little bit too well, and this town doesn't like that. They resent it when things are going well for you, when you sound like you're in a really good mood. And then, of course, Thursday, the first day I come back here, and they're hammering downstairs, and they're banging, and they're sawing, and they're drilling, and I'm trying to do a radio show up here. And then, of course, Greg comes in here, your close personal friend.
Greg
comes in. And at that time, I didn't realize that he was up to his old hijinks again.
Hijinks?
Oh, he's an honorable man. Yeah, he's an honorable man, all right. Yeah, we should live so long he's an honorable man. And John Wayne Gacy was a funny guy, too. 10 after 9 at 560 WQM. Does this sound like you overworked, underpaid, stuck in a really crappy dead-end job, underappreciated? Well, do yourself a favor and pick up the phone and call our good friends at Fast Train at this toll-free number, 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. The demand for certified computer professionals has never been better, and Fast Train can help you achieve a new career in as little as 4 months. You know, when Muff was in here, I forgot to ask her how to take Greg's temperature today. You know how you do that, don't you? Fast Train is South Florida's largest certified Microsoft training center with locations in Pembroke Pines, Fort Lauderdale, Kendall, and Miami. Fast Train offers you convenient day and evening and weekend classes, too. They got a full-time job placement department with over 30 years' experience. So if you are overworked, if you are underpaid, underappreciated, if you're stuck in a really crappy dead-end job working for some lying sack of crap, don't wait one more minute. Pick up the phone and call Fast Train toll-free at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. Think about it. In just 4 short months, you can be on your way to becoming a high-paid computer professional and a career with great earning potential. Oh, and I forgot about Patrick Surtain, too.
Who?
I'm Surtain. That's his name now, Surtain. He changed his name, you know, because he's one of those hot-ass Schwarzers. Take my advice. Pick up the phone and call Fast Train at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. That's 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. Or check them out on the web at www.fasttrain.com and see for yourself what we've been screaming about for years now.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Hey, it's Howard. Howard David.
This is for Zach. Put the brownie down.
Oh, fat ass Rosie, please go away. Find a new way to attack a buffet. Go home and eat your ho-hos till you explode. Just like your fat chudding ladies have to buy 2 seats on a plane. Spinning your fingers that have yellow stain from Cheetos. Can't see your toes. Past your piggy poo nose. Proud to be fat, disgusting, and pasty. Oi, oi.
You make the shoving women smile. They like a gal who's fat and sassy. Big smelly fat, so repulsive and vile.
Your body cheese smells like a crapper after it was occupied by Ed Asner. Need a shoehorn to get into your car, 'cause you're too goddamn wide. Oink and squeal, oink and squeal, oink and squeal, fat lady, living with your lover lesbian. Slobbering and snorting a tree between her knees. Mashed potato yeast.
Jesus Christ.
Smells fishy to me. Lapping up a tuna that's moist and tasty. Hey.
That's for you, Zach. Okay, you tubby food pusher, you. Comes in here this morning with a little sack. He slips George a little bag there with a chocolate, what is it, a chocolate muffin? Fat people pushing food. Haven't I screamed about that for years? Just like Fat Boy.
Hey, Pally, here you go. You want some of this? Can we bring you some lunch today, Pally?
Could have been worse.
What's that?
He could have choked it down.
Oh, in other words, you think that he could have choked it down. How many of you think he choked down this morning,
100.
Zach? About 255? He brought you the remnants. He brought you the scrapings, the drops. Two faxes I get here. First about NPR radio losing the stations of religious broadcasters. How many years ago did I have that story on? Thank you very much. And also Ariana Huffington's column, Why Is No One Talking About Casualties? Remember that one? You folks are a little bit behind the time. It's really good to be back in South Florida. Guess what? It's Christopher Columbus Day. Remember him? No. They don't know him either. A Jewish sailor. 1,202 votes. The tone of Neil's show we asked on Friday. It makes no difference where he's... See, it was basically, how does the show sound depending on where I am, is really what it was all about, as opposed to these assholes. And you're not fooling me. Maybe you're fooling yourselves or somebody else. You're not fooling me. And the proof in the pudding was those calls I took on Friday. And there was also one on Thursday, wasn't there? Same thing.
Yeah.
Well, hockey season's starting again, and it'll be great to be talking about these other things. And, we have to put up with all your left-wing leanings and anti-Bush. And basically what they would like me to do is talk about anything and take a whole lot of phone calls from idiots as opposed to sitting here and telling the truth because they can't stand it. They can't handle it. So they want to, deflect the agenda of the program is what they want to do. And then, of course, throw in there also the idiots, the chronics and the cranks who want to take the program over again, who feel that they've been disenfranchised. Makes no difference where he's doing a show. 542, 45%. The tone sucks. We want the callers back. 458, 38%. 38% want the callers back. You ready for that? And where are the callers? Do you see any?
No.
I don't. Here this is supposed to be the sports station. And these people are supposedly such gung-ho football lunatics. 3 times I went out there. First when I came in, so that's 4. Because I went out to take a leak twice this morning. There's nothing like a good pee. That's what my Aunt Rita says. Lunch, dinner, nothing like a good pee. They're cheap. And anyway, I looked at the phone out there. There was no tremendous number of phone calls on there. Those phones should have been lit up. Wouldn't you think? Hurricanes, Dolphins last night, one of the great games in the history of the franchise, one of the most scintillating games. You got to be on your ass after watching that game. And even after Elam kicked that 55-yard field goal, I'm saying to myself, hey, there's 45 seconds left in this game, baby. It ain't over yet. And not being any Dolphin fan, which I'm not going to be a phony and jump on the bandwagon, I got to give them credit. Doing one hell of a job. And Olindo Mare. And I noticed that the TV announcers there last night on, what was that on? Well, it was on Channel 4 here. But they didn't call him Olindo Mare. None of them. And you want to know why? Because that's not his name. I just mentioned that in passing again. Not that anybody here cares about minutia like that, but are you certain about that? Oh, God. Ethnic sans. It tickles my glands when I just say it, ethnic sans. And at sports again, how many times have I talked about that? In sports, you can have any name, no matter how ridiculous it is, and the sports nerds, oh, yeah, there's ethnic. How you be doing, ethnic? Huh? Can you imagine having a kid and naming him Ethnic?
No.
Well, what is that? It sounds like some kind of an ethnic reference to me. And then you got that Moosey guy up there in D.C., the chief of police. Any word that's got a T-H in it turns into a V. Maybe that's because they're close to Virginia. Huh? Any, together. We're working together to work on it. Well, what is that? Together? And this is the chief of police? Hey, you dark folks out there, I don't want to pick on you too much, but it's about time that you started, getting the boombox off your shoulder and getting with it. Maybe attending 1 or 2 classes a year would be good in between crack deals. I mean, cut it out. Cut the crap. I know I don't want my car washed this week.
Hello.
WQAM.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you heard Mandich last night when
I was watching the game on TV. I was not listening on the radio.
Well, you should get it on a drop because he sounded like he blew a brain gasket when that thing went through those uprights.
Yeah.
I could not believe what I was listening to when it went through. I thought his head exploded.
Really?
It was the biggest R-rep, and then the woo. It was it was a little bit sad. I mean, it was nice, but with Mandich, and of course, then Mo Howard was trying to go over
Wait a minute.
him.
What do you mean it was sad?
Well, I mean, he gets very excited, but all I have to say is Mo Howard was sad because Mo Howard was trying to scream over him and
Jesus
say,
Christ.
Mare kicks it through, and in the background you just hear Mandich trying to get his woo out. It wasn't well done. I think that the two of them don't work too well together. Probably because Mo is a big, hard head and likes it his way.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Now, what are you giving me a look like that? That was a good call.
It was fine.
He took a little cheap shot at Mo in there, too, and also even Mad Dog.
Jesus Christ.
You're giving me a look like that. Anyway, can I do the poll here? The show is best from Miami, 118, 9.7%. Best from Toronto, 63, which is obviously the correct answer, 5.2%. And best from Amsterdam, 20, 1.6%. Like I said, I did so few shows from Amsterdam. How would you know anyway? So, excluding that, the correct answer comes up last, the best from Toronto. The show was smoking from there. It was great.
Yeah.
The difference is like the difference between night and day. I crawled out of the sack. I got all my stuff there. I download a bunch of other stories. I'm sitting there. I'm in a great mood. I don't have to put up with all these butt plugs coming in into my place.
Right, full of vim and vigor.
Yeah. Don't have to get in the car and go through a bunch of assholes on the highway. I'll tell you one thing this morning, I'm coming on 595, missed by about 4 inches to get into a wreck. All of a sudden they start jamming on their brakes, slamming on their brakes. Was there any reason for it?
No.
There was nothing there. Just for the hell of it. And the guy in front of me, you could smell the rubber. It was like you'd walked into a rubber factory. The aroma was just incredible. It was seeping, if you catch my drift. That kind of an aroma. So we have 1,209 votes out there, and 38.1% want to call us back. Well, you just had one. He was pretty good. It doesn't bother me. I got a whole, look at, you're a witness. You got a whole pile of stuff here. This could take me till 4 o'clock if I wanted to, okay? Killer in his truck on video. Restaurant manager charged in sniper hoax. You know that story?
Nope.
Well, there you go. Steve Dunleavy, these are terrorists. He's talking about these because there's more than one in the truck, in the white box truck. There's two. And he says they are terrorists. Vile crime sparks Australian outrage. The greatest tragedy in the history of those islands. Almost 200 people dead.
Right.
And Al-Qaeda done it, and some of your other good Arab friends.
Some of my friends?
Some of your terrorist Arab friends.
Your friends?
The bombers, the crazy bombers, the people that all they know is La Bamba. And, of course, it's interesting that you should be in league with them because what do we have here in Miami in the 60s and 70s? Bombings. Every time somebody got pissed off, La Bamba. Of course, now it's kind of different, you know.
That's your people's philosophy, not mine.
Hey, don't tell me about those Jews. By the way, Puerto Ricans expand donations to GOP and Jeb Bush. There's another great story for all you Julios out there. Puerto Ricans, huh? George had a good point on them anyway, so at least he's not perfect. Meat producers recall 27.4 million pounds of deli product. 27.4 million pounds. And guess where how far back they're dated? Since May. June, July, August, September. It's only 5 months. Yeah. 27.4. And you want to know why? Because they got listeria. I don't want anybody to get hysteria over listeria, except maybe Ethnic Sands. And you know something? Nobody will have one comment about that name, because like I said, the sports nerds, they, whatever it is, that's what it is. Like, what's his name? What the hell's the receiver who used to play for the Jets? I can't even say I have a brain fart now. You know who I'm talking about with the ridiculous name. They're all these, it's a new thing in America. It's part of the racist, underpinnings of this society. Whatever the hell that means. It is. Name your kids the most ridiculous, outrageous, idiotic. It's either that or it's the Islamic names now. We got Rashid, Hasham, Achalam, Schwartz. All that crap.
Right, at least they got an excuse.
Yeah, they have an excuse. Well, maybe it's an ethnic thing. I don't know. Ethnic Sands? I wonder if he's kin to Tommy Sands. You think, and speaking of Tommy Sands, we got some bad news. Boy. Ray Conniff rhymes with Gonniff. Ray Conniff is dead.
He died?
Somewhere. See, we don't have the music. We don't have any Somewhere My Love by Ray Conniff. Great composer, great band leader. Huh?
Not even any of his Christmas tunes.
Columbia Records, man. He was there for a coon's age.
He died?
85, and he's dead. Okay, I'll give you the new poll in a second, Eric. Just relax, okay, because we're getting way behind. I have to take a lot of calls today. I don't think we're going to get a lot of calls today. And, of course, the excuse is not only is it Monday, it's Columbus Day. See? Haven't you thought about that?
Oh, no.
And there's a lot of Columbus Day festivities going on down there, isn't there?
No.
Oh, that's right. How about at Cayocho? They celebrating Columbus Day there?
How would I know?
Wasn't he? Well, he was with Queen Isabella. She was a spick.
He was an authorized agent of Spain.
Like I just said. It's correct. What did I just say?
He's a spick.
I didn't say he was a spick. I said Queen Isabella was a spick, okay? What line would you be spicking now, mister? You're just pissed off because the Puerto Ricans are supporting the Jebmeister.
Wouldn't you be?
I'd be embarrassed, too. I'd be
I'm not embarrassed.
I'd be Mordecai. I'd be so upset.
I have nothing to do with them.
You're like, hell, you don't.
No, I don't.
They're your kin, man. They're your blood
some of
brothers.
My ancestors
There's some more
Islanders. Has nothing to do with me.
27 after 9 at 560 WQM. Let me tell you right now about our good, close, personal friends at Dry Concepts. Hey, they got their own website now, too, by the way, www.dryconcepts.com. You can log on there, take a look for yourself, and find out about all the great things they do for you. How they do that miracle on your floor that I've been telling you about for over 20 years on this program, carpet dry cleaning, which nobody else in the world does, which is why nobody is as effective, because they can make even the worst-looking and smelling carpets in the world look and smell just like brand new. And, of course, also upholstery cleaning, leather cleaning, oriental rug cleaning and repair, water damage restoration, and, of course, they'll take care of pet odors. Oh, do I know about those and more? In Broward, call them at 954-370-7778. 954-370-7778. In Dade or Palm Beach, call toll-free 1-800-248-5071. 1-800-248-5071. And no matter what kind of work you have to do for, or they have for you at Dry Concepts, you don't have to worry about getting ripped off because they can give you a written guaranteed price before they start the job. Call them today. You can clean today and entertain tonight. It's not just a slogan. It's their business at Dry Concepts.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Para miel, Junior.
Negro, Colin Powell is the masses Negro. Negro, Colin Powell be a right-wing schwo, shining the shoes of white man Bush. Colin Powell is the masses Negro, spreads his cheeks to kiss his tush. Colin Powell is the masses Negro, stepping and fetching at the whim of his white master. Colin Powell is the masses Negro, caters to the needs of the globalist crackers. Colin Powell is the masses Negro, and Uncle Tom's subservient cool. Oh! Colin Powell is the masses Negro.
Stupid.
A quisling black slave boot lip spoon. Oh! Colin Powell is the masses Negro. Yo! Colin be a slave Negro. Yes. Colin Powell, yo, that would he be do?
9:33. I wonder if he knows ethnic sayings. You think so? Huh? And they wonder why I call them the Hurricanes. Who are you people kidding, man? The Hurricanes. Ethnic sayings? And you know, nobody will call and tell us the origin of that name. You know that.
Hey, they might.
Here's the poll today. Well, we're looking for all those calls, man. 38% of the audience wanted the calls back. And so far, we've taken how many? One?
One.
And it was pretty damn impressive, too. Now, what is that?
Memo.
A memo saying, let's read the memo. Let's get the important memo. Maybe it has something to do with the end of the world is coming.
I'll tell you during the break.
What do you mean you'll tell me during the break?
I'll tell you during the break.
Well, what is it about?
It's about somebody passing.
Somebody died?
Yeah, so I'll tell you during the break.
Somebody we know?
I'll tell you during the break.
Here's the poll today. Jesus, see, another reason I don't want to be here. He can't even keep a straight face about it, and you're sitting there like, man, it's bad news. I guess it's not
funny.
good news.
It's not funny.
No,
Sad,
I didn't say it was funny, but I'm in the dark again, like Condoleezza. I'm in ethnic sands. Here's our poll today. President Bush's approval rating is about 63%. What do you like about him most? Well, no, seriously. His approval rating is 63%. That means almost two-thirds like the job he's doing. What do you like about him most? Here, I'll give you 5 choices. His tough stand on Iraq, his handling of the war on terrorism, his handling of the economy, he's not a flaming liberal, or absolutely nothing, he's a disaster. I got my vote.
Gee.
President Bush's approval rating is about 63%. What do you like about him most? Let's emphasize that most. Let's underline it, put it in italics, put it in heavy-duty print, Eric. Most. His tough stand on Iraq, his handling of the war on terrorism, his handling of the economy, he's not a flaming liberal, or absolutely nothing, he's a disaster. Now, getting back to Olindo Mare, stem cell science offers new hope to diabetics. See, here's another thing I like about him is the fact he's helping to keep us in the Stone Age. I like that a lot. Type 1, this is from the Reuters. Type 1 diabetics patients may be able to avoid the need for daily insulin shots through transplants of insulin-producing stem cells, but the procedure faces problems finding the cells and dealing with immune system rejection, researchers said on Friday. We've done 38, how do you say that? Islet? I-S-L-E-T? I guess that is.
Yes.
No, I've seen that. I've just never said it before. Have you ever said that before?
Not lately.
38 islet cell transplant procedures since 1999. 87% of those patients are free of insulin therapy a year after transplantation, said Dr. Jonathan Lakey, University of Alberta in Edmonton. See, I'm reading this too fast now because I'm just too anxious to take those great calls. Research from Edmonton and other islet stem cell transplantation centers is being presented at a diabetes conference in Anaheim. So, in other words, to make a long story short, it comes down to, again, the research, stem cell research. Been slowed down to a crawl because of the good old right-wing Christians, and they're doing it, by the way. The Christian Coalition is firing up the faithful and prove that it still has the clout. The coalition has opened up a 3-day conference in Washington aimed at raising its profile and getting out the vote in November. Republican Senator James Inhofe of Oklahoma exhorted those who gathered to vote the liberals out of office. He called it doing the Lord's work, because the Lord ain't no flaming liberal. I'll tell you that right now. He's a right-wing, Bible-thumping, conservative asshole redneck who likes guns. Oh, and speaking of guns, by the way, supporters also proclaimed their solidarity with Israel, which many Christians consider part of the biblical Holy Land. They heard from Jerusalem's mayor, Ehud Olmert, who said their support helps Israelis endure Palestinian bombings. Right. He never met a right-wing goy he didn't like, is what he's trying to say. So speaking of guns, you notice if there's some like sniper out there who's like shooting at you and killing people from hundreds of yards away, having your own piece, which is what the NRA people are always saying, you got to have your own weapons to protect yourself. It's pretty hard to protect yourself when you're out pumping gas or walking into your schoolroom or whatever, and there's somebody that you can't even see. It's not like in The Godfather where you walk right up to him and put the bullet through his brains and spill his guts all over your nice Ivy League suit. It's not like that.
Bada bing.
Right. They're killing people with these high-powered weapons, which, of course, are readily available, just like Cracker Jacks and Cheetos, man. Anywhere.
Speaking of that, did you see 60 Minutes last night?
Yes, I did.
About the crazy people?
Right, crazy people with guns.
Demanding the
Wait a minute. But haven't I always said that America basically, I mean, it's complicated. There are a lot of different kind of people. America basically is crazy people with guns.
Right. But that guy from the Mental Health Association saying, oh, there's no indication that these people are going to commit future crimes just because they were
Are you starting up again?
Sorry.
Are you starting up picking on those good NRA right-wingers again,
No, I'm
mister?
picking on the crazy people.
Yeah.
And their association.
So what's the difference? People who are in love with guns, they got some kind of a mental problem, don't they?
Maybe they're just as scared.
And this business and they're starting the same old crap again. Is it a serial killer? Is it what's the other one?
A terrorist?
No, forget about that. But a serial killer or a spree killer. They're starting the same old crap again like they did with Cunanan all the time.
Yeah, the labels make a difference.
And then this Bill, what's his name? Bill Hummer on CNN this morning. He's really out of control. He's filling in for Paula this week, and she's about, I thought, the biggest lightweight in the world. He makes her look like Walter Cronkite. He's such a lightweight. And he's grilling this guy. They got one of these shrinks on there who's trying to analyze these snipers and who they are and what they're all about, as if they have any idea, which they don't. And he's saying, well, yeah, but wouldn't it be a better idea if we, told them you're a coward and this and that? And the guy is saying no, because that's just going to bait them and taunt them into, coming out and doing more after they took another weekend off, And he's basically trying to tell the cops how to do their job, Bill Hummer. They're on CNN. Just read the news, you asshole. All of a sudden, he's a goddamn expert. He's a freaking criminologist and a goddamn expert. A forensic psychologist and all of these things. Bill Hummer. He's a freaking newsreader is what he is. Stick to reading the goddamn teleprompter, okay, Bill, and stop ad-libbing. You're making a jackass out of yourself on the Certainly Not News Network. But like I said, it sure as hell will help you a lot to go to one of those gun shows that we advertise on this station a lot. Pick yourself up a whole arsenal of weapons to defend yourself against some sniper that you can't see that's shooting you from 100 yards away, from out in the bushes somewhere, or from his white box pickup truck, whatever the hell it is. That'll get the job done. Crazy people with guns. That's America, baby.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Well, and rate me.
Riding around with your windows down. Dial us up on the show right now. We've got a vacancy in the hotel. We'll talk about men till your penis swells. About how fast they run and how good they look. And pass along tips for your bookie to book. Hello, sports fans. Let's talk about Ricky Williams over and over again. And Elvis Gerba. As my voice gets higher and higher till I start sounding like Don Adams. Talking about manly men and loving it. And some side issues like where are all the Ryder trucks? Remember those halcyon days when there were Ryder trucks? The smell of musty movers blankets that blended so well with eating a sandwich? Cruising along in the afternoon. Talking about ignorant sport hole goons. How jocks dingle-dangle their balls like a bell. And about how good their jockstrap smells. Ain't much talk about women except to say he's got him a nice patch of real estate.
Hey, Mad Dog, how you doing?
Itchy Keen, Stiggy Boom, would you believe, like that ding-dong daddy from Dumas? I have on the line my old friend the Craw.
The Craw! The Craw! Craw!
Sorry about that. I meant Siegfried.
Well,
Well, if it isn't the old crank collar on hold trick. You're not fooling anybody, caller. I don't need that kind of aggravation. I make plenty of money. Don't even need the gig. So blow it out your ass, my friend. Because I can sit here and relax and wear my tie. It takes a real man to do a radio show and wear a tie.
9:45 at 560 WQ. I want to thank Gildy again for the tremendous build-up and promotion of the show this morning. Did a hell of a job, as usual. And you 38% out there that want the callers back on the show, I don't know where they are. It's basically the same as when we used to take calls every day and sit here and beg for them. There's not a call on the board. You see any?
No.
What are you pounding on the thing there for?
I was just remembering those days.
Yeah.
Pounding the numbers and pounding the numbers,
exactly.
begging and screaming
and
just for
finding
a
out that they got nothing to say. And like I said, even if it was just the ball game stuff. Now, the one guy, he was very entertaining about the Mad Dog and Rip and Moe a little bit. But other than that, these people have nothing to say. 5670560. And I'm doing this to humor those 38% of the people out there and pretend that and even the people I talked to Thursday and Friday, they had nothing to say. They wanted to tell me how to do the show. Oh, don't be knocking Bush like that. Let's see, on a poll we got 21 votes. They like most about Bush. He's not a flaming liberal, 7. Absolutely nothing. He's a disaster, 6. His tough stand on Iraq, 4. His handling of the war on terrorism, 3. And his handling of the economy, 1. That's probably Kenny Lay voted that vote in there just before they took him away. That must have been Kenny Lay. Either that or it was Ethnic Sands. WQAM.
Hello, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get through to you for a while. I got a good book to recommend about oil.
Yeah?
That's, playing such a big role now. It's called, the book is called The Prize. The author is Daniel Yergin, Y-E-R-G-I-N.
Right.
It's a really good book. It was actually a mini-series on PBS, probably like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's really thick in the book too, but it's well worth the time to read
And the oil too.
Yes. But I really enjoy you reading the articles. I guess that's about it. I happen to be off today, so I finally was able to get through.
Oh, you're one of those 10 people got off for Columbus Day, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Okay, have a good one.
Appreciate it. See, there you go. That was pretty good. And he enjoys the articles on here. He don't mind my reading those bedtime stories on the air, but a lot of people do. I mean, who the hell wants to hear some fat old faggot reading on the air for 4 hours every day? I don't really care while I'm here, which won't be very long. When I go back to Toronto and do the show, then I'll do it my show. I'll do it my way, like Frankie would say. I'll do it my way. That's right. And be very happy with it, and we'll be doing just great. As far as oil is concerned, I'm glad he mentioned that, because I do have one of my bedtime stories in here way down in a pile about we would do this and we better do that, but we aren't doing it. About how we better get rid of our dependency on oil like Europe is trying to do. Where the hell is that article? I can't find a goddamn thing. Christian Coalition. Did I just do that story? Get out there and vote. Oh, also the Finland Mall blast. There was some teenage punk lunatic. Crazy people with guns, crazy people with bombs, etc., and so on. Falwell protest leads to riot. You saw that, I'm sure.
No.
In India? You didn't see that?
No.
Alabama ban on sex toys is struck down as unconstitutional. Where the hell is my story in here about how we better do like the Europeans and get rid of our tremendous dependency on oil? But, of course, we don't want to get rid of our dependency on oil because all of these damn people who are in control of the government, they're up to their armpits in oil. They're up to their nostrils in oil. Okay? Like this guy was just saying. WQAM.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, buddy?
Great.
Don't take any callers. I got very little to say, but love the articles you're reading. Anyway, how come they got so upset with Falwell this time and they didn't make such a big brouhaha when he came out against Tinky Winky?
They did. He apologized for that. He went out and bought one. He's rubbing Tinky Winky on the head right now. You're right. You didn't have too much to say. He was okay, though. What he's trying to say is they made a bigger stink about this than they did about that fag thing, okay? Well, you got to understand, if it wasn't for us fags, those right-wing Christians wouldn't have any goddamn agenda. They wouldn't have anything to talk about. They'd have to find some other scapegoat, like guys named Ethnic. They'd have to address ethnic issues as opposed to sex issues, which they're very big on sex issues because that plays big with the Christian right. 5 people were killed Friday when Hindu-Muslim rioting broke out at a protest against comments made by the Reverend Jerry Falwell on 60 Minutes. Oh, and last night they had a little blurb on that. Didn't you see that on 60 Minutes at the end where, what's his name, Bob Simon, mentioned this?
No, I didn't.
And talked about the fact that decent people have called on El Presidente to disassociate himself and to condemn those remarks. And has he done it?
No.
He hasn't done it. What's Julio giving directions about in there? Hey, go get another sandwich.
In there, so I have
They're
to switch
potchking
something.
around in there? There's another guy that just dawned on me when the door opened. Every time the door opens, there's some big fat person in it there, you know what? Now Julio's a good guy, but Jesus Christ, is he fat? Is he fat or what?
Oh, he's in the right place. We could start a club
Him
here.
and Zach and Fat Boy.
Right.
And me and the Humper. And,
Howard.
Who?
David.
Howard's fat?
Isn't he?
I don't think
He's
so.
got a big gut.
Does he really?
Sure.
I wouldn't call him fat.
All right.
Yeah, okay, I hope he's listening right now, even though he would lie about it. I hope he's back from Denver, which I'm sure he is. Nice job, by the way, by Olindo Mare. But the fact of the matter is, you're the one about the plaid pants and a bad hair piece.
I didn't say anything about his pants.
I think he had a good point. And about his varicose veins.
I didn't say that either.
Painted white and green jet colors. And about his wife wearing the Jets cap in the crowd the day the Jets were here in town and the Dolphins knocked the stuffings out of him.
That was the one that saw him, yeah, while I was at the game.
You know, I don't want to get everybody all, and I'm not jumping on a bandwagon because I don't like them, but I saw that performance last night and I'm saying to myself, this could be it. This could be the year. Seriously.
Really?
I think they could do it this year. Even with that Jew boy Jay Fiedler in there, which this town don't want to give him any credit. I think this could be their year. I'm serious. Because the league is so mediocre. Even Oakland was showing up for what a crap team they really are yesterday. They're mediocre. Patriots suck the joint out.
Commercial switch, the thing that switches the commercials off because that thing is still an issue apparently, didn't switch it back.
And we got a lot of people out there who are pissed off. A lot of people who rely on the show to kill 4 of the best hours of their life every goddamn day, especially if they live in Florida, which is the greatest public service we do at the Price is Right at no charge, and they can't hear the show right now, which just frosts my fantasy. This is what happens when I come back here. I'm surrounded by it. A sea of technical incompetence. Now, where does that take place?
Broadcast.com.
Broadcast.com. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Broadcast.com, get with it. First, we're going to go after Bell South, then we're going to go after them, then we're going to go after something. Lunch. Right after lunch. Sergio in Hialeah says, welcome back to the nation's poorest big city. Okay, thanks, Sergio. Kind of terminal. I get your point, Sergio, but it wasn't airworthy. It was great, but it was, like I said, weak. 5670560. Let's go to this one. WQAM.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I wanted to say that I've been listening to you for almost 15 years since I was in high school, and calls back then, although they were nothing to write home about in the past 15 years, they definitely have progressively gotten worse.
Right.
Especially all these a-holes are calling you, telling you what to talk about, say this, don't say that. I mean, if I'm listening to something, like let's say it's for you and I'm not interested in a topic you're talking about, I'll switch to something else for a couple of minutes, I'll come back, and then whatever. If you're talking about something that I like, then I'll just keep it there.
See, they don't understand. I'm going to take calls, I want to hear what they have to say. Not what they want me to say. I want to hear them say something. But the problem is, as you obviously garnered these last several years, is that they increasingly have almost nothing to say.
Exactly. And then just to sit on hold for that amount of time, just to, like, say nothing is, like, it's beyond belief. Anyways, I wanted to thank you. You, I think initially a year ago, turned me on to Smallville. And that is like one of the greatest shows.
It is.
One of my favorites.
And it runs again on Warner Brothers, runs it again Sunday afternoon. George and I were talking about it before the show. What time is it? Like between 5 and 6, I think?
I think like on Sunday or?
Yeah, Sunday afternoon.
This new second season, like I think they're going to like the 4th episode. Every single episode since episode 1 of this season has been fantastic.
Yeah.
And even the scenes for
the scenes for this one Tuesday, baby. The dark side of Clark.
He turns evil for some reason or another.
In fact, I understand he changed his name to Ethnic.
To Ethnic?
Ethnic Kent.
That's funny. I wanted to share something. I know you're like a big food lover and you have problems with sugar and diabetes and all that.
Yeah.
I went someplace to eat some brunch on Sunday, and I ordered, it was cinnamon raisin challah French toast, drowsed in Vermont maple syrup, sugar powder, whipped cream, strawberries, and blueberries. And I was about to blow up after eating that. Oh, stuffed with bananas also.
Oh, great.
So, I don't know if that'd probably kill you, but if it doesn't kill you,
I'll just think about it.
I recommend you.
Get the honey, Junior.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
So there's a guy who loves the show, but he's trying to kill me. 27 after 11 at 560 WQAM. We got the Mad Dog who's going to be whipped up into a frenzy today from 1 to 3. He's just going to make gurgling sounds for 2 hours. He's so excited. 3-yard field goal. They won yesterday's Dolphin game last night in Denver. A scintillating performance.
It's going to be a 53-yard attempt.
Yeah.
Oh, you wanted more?
No, I don't want any more. That's enough. I don't want to. We're not going to put him on this show. He won't even mention my name. We're going to put that old fuddy-duddy on this show.
He's stupid.
Right. 27 after 11 at 560 WQAM. Tom Lehman ain't stupid. He's a genius down there. He'll tell you. Just ask him at Hallett Pontiac GMC. No tricks, just treats this year for Halloween. That's right, announcing the great 0% Halloween event going on right now at Hallett. That's correct. With approved credit from GMAC, you can get yourself 0% financing up to 60 months on all 2002 Pontiacs and GMC models and select 2003s or take a rebate of up to $4,000. Here's even more good news. No payments for 90 days. Check out the complete line of GMC SUVs, including the Envoy, voted by Motor Trend as SUV of the year, plus see the all-new Pontiac Vibe SUV that's got the power of a big, fancy, schmancy sports car. But trust me when I tell you, it ain't no Corvette. Hallett's also got a great selection of used cars, trucks, and dependable SUVs. And if anybody, like I always tell you, has turned you down for credit, any other car dealer in the universe, Tom, whatever his name is, Lehman will take care of you at Hallett. It's the great 0% Halloween event on right now at Hallett Pontiac GMC, 13401 South Dixie Highway. That's US 1 across from the Falls, where they've been going strong for 35 years, plus open every day of your life, 7 days a week. Hallett Pontiac GMC, who do be professional grade.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Gordon gives South Florida a major blowjob.
Baby, launch a couple missiles.
Yes.
Toward a place we know. And aim 'em at a fella whose first name begins with O. Oh! There's one thing we all understand. Al-Qaeda won't be finished until we blow up Pakistan.
Yes!
We could chase them round forever with our tanks and all our troops, but special forces are so tired of jumping through them hoops.
Jesus Christ.
You know we need another plan. Let's cut out all the nonsense and go blow up Pakistan.
Yes.
Al-Qaeda needs a nuclear tan. Why don't we stop pussyfooting and go blow up Pakistan?
Probably because they have them nukes might be one reason, I would think, wouldn't you think? Could have something to do with it.
Boom, boom.
11:33 at 560 WQM. So as usual, we're trying to do the best we can on this internet problem, this contretemps we got again. As usual, it's back. Oh! The problem was on this end. It wasn't broadcast.com. We owe an apology, okay? Don't we? No. But it was on this end, because once the commercial break ends, it's supposed to automatically kick in based on what's going on here inside this building. And, of course, you know what's going on inside this building, don't you?
Yes.
Crap. That's right. If it has anything to do with radio broadcasting, with anything technical, it's crap. Pure unadulterated. 327 votes on a poll today. President Bush's approval rating nationally is about 63%. What do you like about him most? Absolutely nothing. He's a disaster. 210, 64.2%. He's not a flaming liberal. 64 people said that. 19.5%. It's changing again. It's changing. His handling of the war on terrorism, 31, 9.2%. His stuff stand on Iraq, only 17, only 5%. How do you like that? It's back, Duff. We're doing it, baby. We're on top of it. Get out of here. And his handling of the economy, 1.4%. The economy, 5 clowns out there, 5 people. And you know what? I commend those people, because those are probably people who lost their ass. They probably had tons of Enron or Halliburton stock, crap like that. And they're saying, well, at least keep my sense of humor, you know. Don't cost nothing to laugh. We're taking a lot of calls today because, we're just, I don't know. I'm not so sure it had anything to do with the poll I took on Friday, although we're trying to prove a point. Now, let's see, 64.9%, that's been pretty consistent. 35.1 is the rest of them, and 38% with that thing about they wanted to call us back makes me very, very suspicious, you know. Why did I put this so far down in my pile? You talk about freaking chutzpah, man, that old man with that goddamn dress on.
Boy, does he have a lot of chutzpah.
I saw this. I just saw the headline, and it just frosted my fat, old, ugly ass. In the Boston Globe. Cardinal expects Vatican will grant U.S. church waiver to enact hardline sex abuse policy. They're going to grant us a waiver. Isn't that nice of them? Yeah, wave it back at him, okay?
How
Kind of
about
like
a wafer?
with a limp wrist. Wave like that. Oh, look at that. George did that very naturally. Rome, an American cardinal said yesterday he expects Pope John Paul II will grant the U.S. Church a waiver from church law so it can implement its new clerical abuse policy. In other words, what they're trying to say is, well, we believe that our canon law supersedes your law, which they're full of crap about that, but we'll grant you a waiver because we're such a nice bunch of guys.
Boy, does he have a lot of chutzpah.
Their law comes from God.
Oh, I forgot about that. Well, our law comes from...
Oh, God.
How do you like that? That says that pedophiles all go to jail, directly to jail, do not collect $200, do not pass go, and do not kiss the Pope's ring or anything else.
Yeah, but what if there wasn't any passion involved?
That's okay. Cardinal Francis George of Chicago, who was in Rome over the weekend, made the comments in an interview with the A&P, bolstering suggestions by senior Vatican officials that the Holy See... Yeah, hey, hold up one finger and say, see this? The Holy See was leaning toward accepting the policy on an experimental basis. American bishops adopted the policy in June after a wave of sex abuse allegations, which we already know about. The bishops want Vatican approval so the policy has the full weight of Rome behind them. Thank you, Ira, you're the best. Say hi to Scott, but don't tell him not to come in here again. A rejection would be an embarrassing blow to the U.S. bishops who are struggling to restore credibility in the wake of the scandal. It seems to me there were a lot of other embarrassing blows, and they were long before this. A lot of embarrassing blows, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure you do. The provisions in the... Thanks, Ira. Have a great day. Have a happy Columbus Day to you. Good Italian boy. He could be Italian. The Jews and the Italians have got a lot in common. They got their raviolis. We got our kreplach. And then the Chinks, they stole all of it with those wontons. Oh, that's right. I forgot. We both stole it from the Chinese.
Marco Polo.
Marco Polo, my ass. Okay, there was a good Italian boy, Marco Polo. What team does he kick for, huh? I wonder if he's related to Olindo Mare. The provisions in the new policy include requiring dioceses to remove guilty priests from church work and, in some instances, from the priesthood itself. It also removes a statute of limitations for abuse claims, saying a guilty priest will be relieved of his ministry for even a single act of sexual abuse of a minor in the past, present, or future. That reminds me of that thing in Wilmington, Delaware. In other words, if we think you're going to commit a crime sometime in the future, well, guess what? U.S. church lawyers have questioned whether the plan conflicts with canon law and the due process rights of accused clergy and whether the diocesan lay review boards mandated in the plan have too much authority. George, who said, not our George, but Bishop George, who said he discussed the issue with cardinals in Rome over the weekend, said he expected the Pope would accept the policy and would grant the American church a waiver to get around aspects of church law that may conflict with the new rules, and the cardinals are pretty excited about tying up the giants in that series. For example, he said, church law provides for a full-blown trial. You notice how often that word blow is in this? A lot of blowing going on, baby. Full-blown trial for an accused priest before he could be defrocked. George said American prelates went to the Vatican in April for a landmark summit with the Pope to ask him to consider granting an exception to the law because the enormity of this scandal warranted faster action than a trial would allow. In other words, the heat was on, man. The heat was on. And now the heat is off. Nobody gives a crap about this stuff anymore. The media, they're too busy with a sniper. The expert sniper, and then Iraq. Not a question of if, but a question of when. And the Al-Qaeda, which we've done a wonderful job of getting them, haven't we?
No.
Not too good. Now, there was another Al-Qaeda attempted shooting in Kuwait yesterday. Not to mention the thing in Bali, of course, that grotesque, the worst attack in their history over there. In the largest Muslim country in the world, by the way, I should point that out. I just mentioned that in passing. We don't want to get too serious here today. We're trying to keep it light. Keep it light. We're back on the Internet. Everybody's happy. We want to celebrate the Dolphins' great win last night. The Hurricanes' climactic win. Attaboy, Ethnic Sands. You be going, baby. And Rufus Jones, whatever their names are. You know when I knew FSU was going to lose the game? I can't think of the name of the quarterback for FSU. Pretty good-looking kid, by the way. Number 16, the quarterback for FSU, for the Seminoles. When they scored what they thought was going to be the winning field goal, or touchdown, I forget how the game went. He knelt down and he crossed himself. Well, that's right, it was a touchdown, because then Bobby went for 1 instead of 2. Nice going, Bobby, you redneck, you Yahoo man, Bobby Bowden. See, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. That's why his son, that Terry Bowden, is why he sits in the tree most of the time. And even he said, Daddy, you're a moron, should have gone for 2. But anyway, this kid he got down, they showed the replay as they were going to commercial break.
The replay of the crucifixion?
Crossing his chest. Crossing his breast. He was checking to see if his nipples were still firm. How do you like that? I know mine were, because he's a pretty good-looking kid. But anyway, I don't remember what his name. Somebody will let me know. Somebody will fax it in. Or call it in. Quarterback for FSU, what do you got? What's his name? So like I said, it was a very exciting weekend, but every time you think this town is going to be just pumped up and nothing. Absolutely nothing, man. This is the worst deadhead-ass place. Let's have some hockey talk.
No.
Don't forget George is going to be doing some hockey shows. What's his name?
Chris Ricks.
Chris Ricks. And rumor I'm hearing is he's akin to Ranger Ricks from Flipper. Wasn't that his name?
That was him.
Yeah, Chris Ricks. Chris Ricks was crossing himself and like, that was the kiss of death, baby, because once you do that, that's it. You're done. 19 till noon at 560 WQM. The best Chinese buffet in the world is beyond a shadow of a doubt. Am I doing the right spot?
No.
Well, is this even on today? It's not even on today. Emerald Coast is the best in the world. I just pulled out an extra piece of copy. Well, what's wrong with giving them an extra plug? They're great. My friend Richard and all the nice people at Emerald Coast. They got 3 locations, Sunrise, North Miami Beach, and Pembroke Pines. They don't have a spot on the air today, but I just give them a little plug there because it's great. Go to lunch at Emerald Coast. Say, hey, guess what, Richard? Who's from Toronto? He's a good man, by the way. Good old Richard. Go Leafs, go, baby. We lost a tough one the other night. We'll be okay. Actually, they're playing pretty good. Trevor Kidd played good. Got to kick Pittsburgh's ass again tonight. Anyway, if you love your home but you need more space, here's the answer what you do. You do what hundreds of other smart people like George are doing. Call Strictly Additions. How's that thing coming, by the way?
Going great. You should see.
I don't want to see it. Whether you're having a baby like George did unintentionally and need another room, or if you're converting your carport into or patio into living space, maybe you went into business for yourself and you want to make a home orifice. Call these people at Strictly Additions because they'll do it all for you. They're your one-stop shop, your more space for your place with an absolutely, positively worry-free approach to expanding your living space. Those no-shows by the contractors ain't going to happen. Incomplete work, no way, Jorge. No unexpected bills, no worries about the job not getting done right, and they take care of every last detail. They draw up your blueprints, they get the building permits, handle all the inspections for you. They've got that easy 5-step approach to total customer satisfaction. First, they call to schedule a free project evaluation appointment at your home, where a project estimator will determine the scope of your addition. Secondly, they schedule a bid appointment in their convenient showroom where you'll get a detailed proposal and an exact price for your work. Third, select your finishing touches, go to contract. Fourth, they review the design, architectural drawings. And fifth, you sit back and relax as your dream addition moves ahead on schedule with unbeatable quality. It's a piece of cake. So give Strictly Additions a call at 954-791-8100. They serve all of Broward and South Palm Beach County, and you want to check out their ad in the yellow pages, or maybe not if you don't want to. Call 954-791-8100. They're licensed, they're insured, professionals who care about doing a great job for you. Be sure and tell them that old Neil and George told you to call Strictly Additions and P.D. Lenny to mention his name, and also Steve M. and Davey. Call 954-791-8100.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Blow too much, you're in trouble.
Got a great fact for you.
Just a tad. Let's give him a light so he can see Baghdad. It's an American bomb. It's an American bomb. We'll chop him off Saddam till he cries for his mom. It's an American bomb. It's an American bomb. To keep your oil warm. We did it once before, but now you need some more of these American bombs. It's an American bomb.
Yes.
It's an American bomb. It's an American bomb.
That's what I told that guy in the elevator that day. It's an American bomb. He gave me a dirty look. He said, boy, you must be in a cloud, in a fog. 13 till noon at 560 WQAM. This has been kind of pleasurable today. I feel okay. Especially after I get my elbow all straightened out tomorrow, which I don't think it'll get straightened out in one day. They'll probably have to operate. You think?
Bone saw.
The old hacksaw. When in doubt, cut it out. So anyway, Muff got a kind of a chuckle out of that fax that we just handed to him. It said something about...
If you blow too much, you're in trouble.
Something like that. 361 votes on the poll. The votes are pouring in today. We got the audio back on neilrogers.com. Don't panic. We appreciate your fanaticism. That's great. But just, don't be blaming it on us. Although I guess the fact that they bellyached brought Eric's attention to it, and then we got the people's attention down here, and the people's got it fixed, right?
Right.
I wonder, do you think Ethnic Sands is one of the people's? 361 votes. What do you think of? What do you like about President Bush the most? Absolutely nothing. He's a disaster. 233, 64.5%. He's not a flaming liberal. 68. He's his handling of the war on terrorism. 35. His tough stand on Iraq. Only 19. And his handling of the economy. 6. 6 people with a good sense of humor said that. Here's a fact that says, oh, now see, we're trying to get everybody into a little more upbeat mood today, and this is more like beat up than upbeat. I'm so depressed it really looks like there's no way to save the world from religious zealotry and ignorance, and it's overwhelming. What part of the commandment, thou shalt not kill, do the good Christians fail to comprehend? Also, Jesus preached the root of all evil is the love of money. You can just insert oil for money because there is no difference. However futile it may be, voicing the concerns of the few reasonable people left must be done, if nothing else, but to prove to posterity that not everyone was taken in by the lies promoted by both sides in this modern version of the Crusades, which started in the Dark Ages. The calls are okay in very small doses, says this faxer. It also might enhance the droning of the idiot callers with classical music in the background, like the old Looney Tunes and Ren and Stimpy. Now, don't put no music in the back just because this, you're like an automaton. Automatron.
Just in case.
It says, keep up the good work, and George is still disgusting, but is so much better than anything else QAM has, and an absolute genius compared to Paul and Ron and that other Schmidt, whatever his name is. Schmidt. Who had a good book, but a good trend.
Schmidt did? I said Schmidt.
Yeah, but you got a mouthful of food. It didn't sound like you said that. It sounded like you said something else. It sounded like you had a mouthful of Schmidt or something like that. See, I can do that. Don't be trying to, emulate a little bit too much. Masticate before you emasculate yourself. Right. White House staffers gather for Bible study. Voluntary meetings embrace President's emphasis on faith. Oh, how disgusting. In today's USA Today by Judy Keene. I'm not too keen on this. Remember Harvey Keene?
No.
Tigers?
No.
President Bush talks openly and proudly about his active spiritual faith. In another less-known sign of the religious devotion that permeates the administration, some White House staffers have been meeting weekly at hour-long prayer and Bible study saying, hey, it can't hurt. Well, we got him in that crowd in there. All it can't hurt. Bush aides organized although it didn't work out for Chris Ricks, he crossed himself, and that was the end of that game. Because Mohammed wasn't too happy about it. He was pretty pissed off and fired up. He had a bet on the Hurricanes. Bush aides organized the sessions before his inauguration. One group meets during lunch hour on Tuesdays, another on Thursdays. Attendance is voluntary, and although the lessons are Christian in nature, non-Christians are welcome. Barry Lynn, Executive Director of Americans United for Separation of Church and State, says the courts have not ruled that religious study in public buildings is inherently unconstitutional. If there's equal treatment among people who don't attend and there's no pressure, then frankly it doesn't violate the First Amendment. He says we haven't gotten a single complaint from anyone in the White House, even from that phony Jew, Ari Fleischer, the Minister of Information. How do you like that? 5670560, pound 560. I don't understand where all the big football fans are down here. And then, of course, between 1 and 3, they'll be calling Mad Dog sucking his ass, Which is fine. I mean, he deserves to have his ass sucked, but it's just, I don't understand you people. What does it take to get you whipped up a little bit? I would have thought that this town after this weekend would have been on fire. Flaming. And it's just the same old, kind of deadheads, I mean, they might be on fire, but I got it backward. They might be flaming, but they're not on fire. Had it backward. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Taking calls today, boys and girls. WQAM.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
All right.
Listen, that wasn't a girls' team we played this weekend. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen.
No, it was, something?
What?
See, when Denver blew the game, they were moving the ball like the Dolphin defense wasn't even on the field. You notice that? And they come away from the first half. They blew the last field goal because of the penalty on it as the time ran out. So, and when you only come away from dominating a half with only 9 points and the door is wide open, you're probably going to lose the game. It happens every time.
Yeah, you get a little discouraged, like everything's
right.
going the other way.
Absolutely
but,
correct.
But they hung in there. They thought they had the game there at the end, and I said, oh my God, Jay Fiedler is going to get the chance to come back. Oh.
And then, of course, when you saw the ball, that pass go through the linebacker's hands, number 51, I forget his name. When you saw the ball, he didn't have to catch it, intercept it. All he had to do was knock it down, and it just deflected just ever so slightly off his hand, and they get the completion on the 35-yard line. You knew that the fates were on the Dolphin side.
Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes maybe this is our year. Maybe, who knows?
I think it is.
On a different thing, on that Israel. You know, if Israel knew that Saddam Hussein had biological weapons or capability of any nuclear strike, you think they would have waited for the U.S. to do something about it?
No, and the proof of the pudding is when they took out that nuclear reactor in the 80s.
Exactly.
Was they took it when in doubt, they took it right out.
Exactly. They don't wait for nobody's
That's
permission.
right.
They just do it on their own. So this is all about oil and other crap that we don't know about.
Oil and votes.
Yeah. I hope this guy loses in November, and then we get his brother in 2 years.
Okay.
All right, Neil.
And back
Keep
to
on
you.
reading, because you keep me up to date, because that way I have time to watch sports and I don't have to read the newspaper.
Okay. Let's see, here's a fact that says, when you were talking about priests, you reminded me of something, is everyone forgot about that kid who killed a nun in Miami. When are they going to expose that bunch recruiting those boys from the Ukraine?
They're not.
They're not?
They're not going to expose it. They're not going to talk about it.
I think they already did expose it.
She didn't like it, and that's why he stabbed her.
I see. She don't want none? 5670560. I don't want to start pumping these numbers out again, because if I have to go back through that again, I'll sit here. I got a million things I haven't gotten even close to getting to today. And also I was distracted because George turned me out of that MTV show again. And you know what else? See, these two guys are really nasty, especially that fag right there. I mean, that guy, whatever he is. Huh?
Well, he's the favorite. He's the one that they all like in the
He's
house.
the one that they all like? Oh, my God. Thank God for bad eyesight, man. Thank God for real nasty eyesight. Because that show that preceded this one, where they were all naked in that big rubber raft going to Cuba, man.
Flaming.
WQAM.
Randy Rhodes bedtime.
WQAM.
Yeah, when I talked to Neil.
Speaking.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
All right.
I haven't talked to you in a while. Listen, I'm just curious as to how you feel about the little thing that's been out lately with the SpongeBob SquarePants and...
Oh, yeah, gay, right, gay.
But SpongeBob's an asexual creature.
Gay.
No.
Yeah, that's what I say, okay? F 'em.
And besides, everybody knows that it's Squidward that's gay.
I don't watch that crap, okay?
Of course you don't.
I'm busy watching reruns of Bullwinkle. 5670560. Pound 560 on it. Well, see, I could have been watching Guiding Light between 10 and 11, too. Because now I've lost track. If we had any women listening, I might get a spy report from some lady out there about what happened the last 3 or 4 days on Guiding Light, like Wednesday through Friday. Because I can't see it anymore. You think I'm going to remember when I'm crawling out of the house at 6:30 in the morning, I'm going to remember to tape Guiding Light? Do you think I'm going to do that?
No.
No. Very depressing, especially since it was getting so tense, so heavy duty, so climactic. And Ben Reed was running around with his clothes off all the time. WQAM.
Can I speak to Neil, please?
Speaking.
Neil,
Yes.
I want to tell you about something you were telling me about your irritable bowel syndrome.
Yeah.
Well, I was in the hospital, spent about $30,000 taking care of a similar problem. Then I called a doctor up in Palm Beach into natural medicine. He turned me on to something called black walnut extract.
Black what?
It's a black walnut extract.
Black nuts?
They sell it up. They sell it at health food stores. Don't go to GNC. Go to a real health food store.
Right.
It's about $10. Pain gone.
And that did it for you?
First day.
Black walnut.
Black walnut extract. Take 4 drops.
Yeah.
It's a little 1 ounce bottle, 2 ounce bottle.
Okay.
4 drops, 6 times a day in a week. Let me know how you feel.
Okay, thanks. Thanks very much. I'm going to go find me some black nuts today, as a matter of fact.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
This is Steve Goldstein, but you can call me Geldy. Whenever I'm in town, I listen to... Wait a minute, I am in town. It's the 12 to 1 hour.
This fall, CBS launches a CSI spinoff that resurrects the careers of a couple of former NYPD Blue actors to form a hot new show that's almost unique unto itself. Introducing NYPD CSI Blue Miami. David Caruso plays a forensic investigator who pokes around at bodies even more dead than his movie career.
You know, you never get used to looking at dead bodies. Like when I had to look at Dennis Franz's bare butt.
NYPD CSI Blue Miami with Kim Delaney as his tough but vulnerable partner in crime. Scene investigation.
Every time I look at a corpse, it reminds me of when I lost my NYPD Blue husband, Jimmy Smith. Oh, God.
You pull it together, honey. This is a new show. That's right. In a new town, on a new network, with all new stars. Well, sort of. NYPD CSI Blue Miami, Monday nights on CBS.
12:02 at 560 WQAM. So good old Carlos, who's evidently a little off his feed. This is the second time he's done this in 2 shows. Hey, Neil, sorry if you already have some of these, but I haven't been able to listen to the whole show, or if you're planning taking calls for the rest of the week instead of reading. White House staffers gather for Bible study voluntary meetings. I just got through reading that, Carlos, you little quisling you. Always used to like him, until I came back and saw him and realized you're right, he's ugly. And if that isn't more exciting enough to get you going, we discovered who the insider is, the one that faxes all this chronic crap. Even though the previous one was very amusing, now we get one that says, "Don't be a pussy, Neil, read the facts." P.D. Lenny, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is the insider. Biggest troublemaker in the building, biggest chronic. If he'd be out selling right now instead of sitting around stirring the pot in the building, or maybe over at Steve Adams' house smoking it, he could be doing something productive. But instead he sits around stirring and whipping up all kinds of rumors and crap, because he's a crap disturber, and he's very deeply disturbed. In fact, you know something? If I wouldn't have seen him this morning, although, were there any shootings over the weekend? No.
Don't think so, no.
Sniper. Huh? Stop and think about it. 391 votes on a poll. President Bush's approval rating is 63%. What do you like about him the most? Absolutely nothing. He's a disaster. 250. 64%. He's a disaster. He's not a flaming liberal. 72. 18.5%. Oh, I should have mentioned that before, because now those people are over with Rush, or Bill, or Greta. His handling of the war on terrorism, 38, 9.7%. His tough stand on Iraq, 23, 5.5%. And his handling of the economy, stupid, only 8. Only 8 are thrilled with the way he's handling the economy. You think this hour is going to be the end of the calls?
How would I?
Don't look too promising. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. 38% of the people on our weekend poll that we started on Friday wanted the calls back. They said the tone of the show is it sucks, it blows, it bites, it blows chunks, and they wanted calls back. And I would say so far, huh?
It's been all right.
Been okay. Not spectacular, not scintillating, not real enthusiastic, not just dynamic, not something you could, hey, bring in C-SPAN and CNN in here and let them hear these brilliant comments. But they've been okay, especially as compared to usual. WQAM.
Yeah, to talk to Neil, please.
Speaking.
Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, trying to recuperate from the regatta on the weekend, man. That was something.
Yeah.
Columbus Day Regatta, biggest party.
Yeah.
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 All drunk, nudity. There was a barge out there with strippers, something George would like.
Uh-huh. Okay, good. Glad you had a bad time. Woo! Like I said, he's trying to recover from the regatta. We're trying to recover from that call. Is Carlos faxing me more, Chris? Stop faxing, Carlos!
Obviously not listening.
God damn it! When you straighten him out, I appreciate his enthusiasm and his attempt to help. Does it look like I have any shortage of stuff here that I'm never going to get to any of it today anyway? Does it look like I have a shortage of stuff that I could probably go to like 7 o'clock with that stuff? No. I understand you're trying to be helpful, Carlos, but go get a makeover or something and stop wasting our time in my fax paper, you little quisling. And there's more coming here, you idiot! WQAM, hello. WQAM.
I forgot what to say.
Yeah. This thing ain't working.
You heard it twice again.
Well, that was in my desperation to get rid of it. WQAM. WQAM.
My God!
Okay, like I said, you reach the point you say, okay, that's it, they're out of material. 3 hours after 7 months of basically no calls on this show, and in 3 hours they're out of material. And we're back to the same dregs, the same quislings, the same simpletons, the same people who think they're very amusing. You have nothing to say about anything. You're the biggest bunch of losers that ever came down the pike in the history of mankind. This is a place, man, this is not a place to live. This is a place to vegetate. Vegetate. Maybe Veggie will call in from Boca, because he's the epitome of what this town is all about. Maybe we'll talk to what's-his-name in Port St. Lucie. Greg.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you said his name.
Greg. Our close personal friend in Port St. Lucie. Greg. And then we'll talk to Gilbert. And then the guy with the eyes. And then the guy without the eyes, Mike.
You're going to give me a day's notice before you do this, right?
No, we're doing it right now, this hour. WQAM.
Get the honey, Junior.
And the guy with the fanny pack, WQAM.
Hey, good morning.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
How you doing?
Okay.
So great to talk to you. How you doing?
Let me say it again. I'm doing just as great as when I said it 4 seconds ago. I'm doing great.
I just want to turn my radio down. I just wanted to mention, are you still into The Sopranos? Are you still watching it as much as you used to?
I'm watching it just as much as I used to, yeah. Do you have any idea who you're speaking to?
Of course I do, Neil. I'm kidding.
Oh.
Listen,
Okay, thanks for the great call. What just happened there? Did you see that?
No?
There was just like a little flash of one of the, maybe it was on the bulbs. Maybe it was from his call. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. WQAM.
Hey, hi, is this Neil?
Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask you a couple questions about Fiedler.
About who?
About Fiedler, Jay Fiedler.
Arthur Fiedler, yeah.
Jay Fiedler.
Yeah.
How long do you think he'll be out?
Who said he's out? Just because he's got a busted thumb? Call up Mad Dog, okay? Talk to him on one of them dumb sports shows. We're not doing a dumb sports show or even a smart sports show.
How long do you think
he'll be out?
He'll be out.
Is he going to be out?
That's all I hear. What do you think? Do you think they're gonna? How long is it gonna?
Yeah.
What are their?
Who the hell gives a crap what I think? I don't care how long he's going to be out. Maybe he'll miss the rest of the season. I don't know. I don't wish him any bad luck. He's a good Jewish boy from Dartmouth. Got big ears, big nose, ugly.
Do you think it's gonna rain tomorrow?
I don't know.
What about that asteroid? When do you think it's gonna hit?
I know that this chow is pretty good from Atlantic City Subs.
Always is.
You see, that right there is one of the reasons that the sports shows are so stupid in the first place. That's one of the main reasons, beside the fact that, you know, what's his name? Ethnic Sands. But that's one of the things. Well, what do you think, what's your take, man. I know what I take every morning, real regular. WQAM. WQAM.
Yeah, Neil, I want to thank you for reading the great articles you read. You are the voice of reason, thank God.
Uh-huh.
And people don't know it, but I think we're on the brink of a world war, and I'm scared shitless about it, because if we go into Iraq, that's going to be a hotbed. It's going to explode in our face in retaliation.
Could be.
And I was the lady that you hung up on a year ago when I said Bush was wringing his hands gleefully over the 9/11.
Okay, great. 10 minutes after noon at 560 WQAM. Let me tell you about Dial Mattress. I wring my hands with great joy every time. Can you wring your hands with great joy?
Sure, with
or
glee.
Just rub them together with glee and joy and gaiety. Every time Dial Mattress are on the way over to my house, because I know I'm going to have me a great new mattress. Every time the old one gets lumpy and bumpy and you're not sleeping the way you ought to, just pick up the phone, which is the smart thing to do. That's why I do it, because it's smart, not dumb. The smart thing. That's why Miguel did it. Didn't he do it? And
Jay Fiedler.
Dial a mattress at 1-800-MATTRES. Stop me right in my tracks with that Jay Fiedler. I'll tell you that. Works every time. And of course, they got only the top brands in the world of Dial a Mattress. They got Serta and Sealy, Simmons and King Coil. And when you call that toll-free number, 1-800-MATTRESS, you pick the day and the 2-hour window for your delivery. Any day, 7 days a week. That's the way it works. And of course, they have exceptionally low everyday prices too. So you can't beat the price, you can't beat the delivery, you can't beat the choice of name brand mattresses. And on top of all that, if that wasn't enough, they give you a 30-day in-home comfort trial to check it out too, in your house by sleeping on it and doing whoever you like on it. Pick up that thing and call them right now, 1-800-MATTRES, and you'll discover why they be the best. This is the easiest, the smartest way to get you a great name brand mattress at an unbeatable price. 1-800-MATTRESS, or check them out on the web at mattress.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Hey, let me ask you something. Did you know it's fall? Yeah, it's that time you really gotta clean up the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Sure you do. You got leaves piling up, and sometimes, hey, you got something bigger than leaves you gotta get rid of. And that's when you need Sopranos Leaf and Body Bags. From the same family that made its name from hauling trash, rats, and stool pigeons all over Jersey.
Okay, throw them in there with the other garbage.
Hey, these industrial strength bags, they're sturdy. They'll hold anything from leaves to limbs. And hey, not for nothing, I ain't talking about tree limbs, you know? Best of all, Sopranos Leaf and Body Bags, they're not only leak-proof, they're completely soundproof. Well, almost. Hey, Paulie, give me that shovel over here.
No, I brought
Anyways, like I was saying, you got a problem? We got a solution. Sopranos Leaf and Body Bags. The bags that'll make yard work around your house a real hit. Hits, get it? Hit 'em again.
It's 12:15. Hey, I'm finishing up my last thing here, okay? It was very good. Thanks, Ira. Miami Dolphin quarterback Jay Fiedler broke his right thumb late last night in the game against the Denver Broncos, but still managed to engineer the game's winning drive. A Dolphin spokesman said there was no immediate estimate how long he'd be out. Well, they wanted Ray Lucas. Now you get your Ray Lucas, huh? And you're going to be real sorry, guys. Fiedler was injured on the next last drive of the Dolphins' 24-22 win over the Broncos on a pass to Ricky Williams in the flat. I came down on a helmet, felt something loose in there, Fiedler said, but I was still able to grip the ball and throw it. He was still able to grip it. On the final drive after Denver's Jason Babbitt, he completed a 17-yard pass to Randy McMichael, a 22-yarder to Cedric Ward, setting up Olindo Mare, clinching 53-yard field goal with 6 seconds left. We'll find out today, meaning Monday, meaning today. Fiedler said of his status, it's a right thumb fracture down near the joint. He's got a fracture near his joint. How do you like that? So he might be out a while, looks like.
You got a fracture near your joint?
I think I might. You think that's what it is?
Probably.
We'll find out tomorrow. Maybe Jay and I can get healed up together. What do you say? Go get
hey,
some
there's
good,
the moose.
Go get some good kishki. I just saw the moose he was on. He said any day without a shooting is a good day. And what we say on this show is any day without Wolf Blitzkrieg is a good day. So get his ass off of there immediately. So Jay Fiedler, we don't know. See, if Jay Fiedler don't know, how the hell am I supposed to know? This Schwartz is calling up asking me how long Jay Fiedler going to be out. So there's the info for you, Pally. Right
Are you
there.
like his doctor or something?
Yes. WQAM.
Hey, I want to talk to Neil.
Speaking.
Neil, this is Chris. How are you?
Okay, Chris.
Hey, you should wring Mo Howard's neck. He's gay.
WQAM.
Lamar Thomas is a douchebag.
WQAM.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I want to talk about the Dolphin broadcast real quick, if I may.
Go right ahead. Take all the time you like.
The problem I have is I don't know if Mo is a good play-by-play guy or not. I haven't.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I haven't listened to enough play-by-play guys to really make a judgment on that. But the problem I have is, when I tune into the Dolphins, I tune in for the color guy. I mean, Jim Mandich has always been the star of that show, in my opinion. Because, I'm watching it on TV, I'm at the game, listening to it on the radio on my headset. I know what's happening, I want to know why. And I think this year that's been lacking, the why. We're getting all the what, none of the why.
We're getting all the what?
We're getting all the what, he's just too verbose. He doesn't, give Jim enough time to...
Because he wants to be the center of attraction, don't you understand that? When they came up with that cockamamie idea of putting Orlando Alzagiri on the sideline, and being a third man in the broadcast, which would have taken even more time away from the Mad Dog, Mo was all in favor of that, is what I'm hearing. That's what I was told on Friday.
I mean, Jim
he wants to be the centerpiece, man. He wants to be the superstar. He don't want anybody stepping on his parade.
I enjoy, whatever. He might be a good play-by-play guy, but the fact is, I just want more, color.
More Mad Dog. More Mad
Yeah.
Dog and less Mo.
Exactly.
Mo Mad Dog. Okay, thank you. I'll pass that along. I'm sure it'll have no effect. Pass that along. Tell Geldy, okay, if you can get his head out of Mo's ass. Well, that was terrible this morning. The way he just left us hanging there between him and Zach. Zach, of course, was having a big Mac attack. Now, he was probably like sitting there in mourning, reconsidering that he gave you that last chocolate muffin out of the 15 that he ate.
I still have it.
Do you? What does
He
it look
can come
like?
back.
Huh?
Looks really chocolatey.
Does it really?
Yeah,
Well, I'll split it with you.
Rich. I should spit on it right now.
How big is it?
Pretty big.
What do you mean you should spit on it?
To
What does
keep
that
you
mean?
from getting it. So that
Why?
you don't go into a diabetic
Why is that?
coma.
I'm not going to go
You're
into... What did
have a
I just
seizure.
eat? Meat and cheese, that fat-filled sandwich stuff.
Your tongue's going to swell up. You're going to swallow your tongue.
It's already swelled up, not the tongue, though. I was watching that show before on MTV, and that's your fault. It swelled up a little bit. I know it's not easy to tell, but believe me. WQAM.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Did you hear about the riots in India because of Jerry Falwell's
Yes, I already had that story on. Thank you very much, sir. Way ahead of you guys, okay? Had that on over an hour ago. 5 people died because Jerry Falwell. And then, the best part of the deal is, they said on 60 Minutes last night when Bob Simon came in and did that follow-up little piece at the end of the show, Jerry Falwell's comment is he wishes that 60 Minutes wouldn't have repeated his quote. Isn't that, instead of apologizing, instead of saying, hey, I wish I wouldn't have said that, he wishes they wouldn't have broadcast it.
Or even it came out the wrong way.
What a disgusting, obnoxious, fat-faced son of a bitch. That's the best I can say for him.
Wears a lot of facial putty, by the way.
And I'm delighted that those fags moved in across the street. Remember I had that story up there in Virginia, wherever the hell it is? Sick, disgusting, bigoted, nasty, hateful sow. That's what you are, Jerry. I hope they catch you with a billy goat. WQAM. WQAM.
Has George told you how much I love?
WQAM.
Twice now.
Goedemorgen, Neil.
Goedemorgen.
Hoe gaat ie?
Huh?
Hoe gaat ie?
Don't start speaking foreign languages on this show,
Hey,
sir. I'll still leave.
We're happy you're taking calls again. The whole Dutch community is in favor.
The whole Dutch community, yeah. By the way, how come you people are so cheap?
I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it comes from the war. Who knows?
Trying to live up to that Dutch treat crap, yeah, I know.
Hey, listen, tomorrow we got a big funeral in Holland, eh? You know about it, right?
We got a what?
Big funeral. Prince Klaus, the husband of the Queen, is dead.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he died.
Oh, brother.
He died.
He died, huh?
Yeah, it's a big freaking funeral tomorrow.
Well, everybody will probably get drunk.
That's probably right. Hey, it's great to have
I can see them all sitting out there right by the grasshopper just getting stoned off their ass.
The bulldog, probably.
And the bulldog, right.
Hey, listen, it's good to mix up the show a little bit.
Okay, Totsins.
Doei.
567-0560, pound 560. Got to get back to Amsterdam. See, this summer, that was just bad. You know, just between the flu and then the other thing that came back, and then falling down those couple of stairs, which I didn't want to talk about because every time I go over there, I fall down. And people are going to say, yeah, he's falling down because he's stoned on his ass. Right. Well, they're gonna come up with something, you know.
Because you were chasing some hot young guy.
No, I keep my balance when I do that. Yeah, I'm very good at that. That's why I got my New Balance shoes.
And you're balanced for life.
Balanced for life. That's right. Unbalanced for life. So what's that thing look like? That brownie hound? I mean I just want to take a look at it. Okay, I don't necessarily want to put it in my mouth.
That looks really good.
Line usually works.
It's from the Wild Bean Cafe.
Oh, the Wild Bean. Well, if Zach can eat that, let me ask you: am I as fat as Zach? Am I even in his league?
No.
Am I in his league?
No.
I don't even know if I've ever been in his league. He's got to weigh like about 350, wouldn't you think? He's a tub, man. Oh, I don't want that.
All right,
you're
good.
right. Well, maybe a little. Don't put your tongue on it. Jesus Christ! Now that I know where your tongue has been, oh man. Every nook and cranny, every nook and granny, every ass that's ever come down the pike, George said, hey, I like. No, brother. Like I said, have a good time with it. I'm not eating that crap. I'm doing Unbalanced for Life. So I went off a little bit today because I didn't bring anything for my sack. Because quite frankly, Troy, WQAM.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
What is it?
Hello?
Do you have any idea what that was?
Crank.
No, but saying what? Obviously.
Who? Hello? Who?
Oh, I see. WQAM.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I must disagree with something you said earlier.
Can't
this
do
morning.
that.
And by the way, welcome back to it'll probably be a short-lived foray on the phone lines.
Yes.
But last night during the ball game, you didn't hear sides, and they weren't saying Mare, but everybody is Mare. It's like they have to roll the damn R all the time.
Yeah, but that's okay, because if you want to be, pretend you're like Italian, if you want to be a little greasy, especially with Columbus Day coming up today, they were trying to, grease it up a little bit. That's okay.
One thing that drives me nuts is Joe Angel used to do this. He'd speak perfect unbroken English while doing the Marlins games. Then, like, Levon Hernandez would come up to the plate.
Yeah, but see, that was his Southern California roots, see? That was his West Coast roots with his Chicano thing, you know?
Yeah, he'd come up and say, now batting Levon Hernandez.
In addition to which, his name is Joe Angel, so he's one of them, too, you know?
Hey, and also, the Mad Dog Call, which you played a few times, it was a matter of, like, a couple of hours on the overnight sports shows. It was being, like, ridiculed nationwide.
It was being ridiculed?
Yeah, by the guys on the overnight shows on Fox.
Well, you know what? Screw them.
Yeah, they call him Homer. Say, so what, Mad Dog?
Hey, look, the greatest sportscasters, Harry Carey, Bob Prince, they're all homers, okay? We like our homers and our homos, okay?
You got to have a little entertainment because more times than not, the games are boring as hell.
Right, that's right.
And this weekend was certainly an exception, both in the college and the pros. But
Yeah, and that's why you're the first guy that seems like all hyped up about it. This audience, man, is dead as a doornail.
yeah, I thought, and I was amazed. The phone's been ringing all day, and I was surprised that I'd be able to get in and even get in on the line.
No problem.
And you're right. Everybody's been bitching and moaning, saying, get the calls back. And
And now that they're going to probably have to play Ray Lucas, they're going to be saying, oh, gee, we want Jay Fiedler back. He was the best, man. That's a bunch of phonies.
Well, it's nice to have you, Neil, in closing. He crushed it.
Don't get that little bit too much inflection there. He crushed it. He crushed it. It's no good. It's off to the left. Hurricanes win. He's terrible, man. I don't care what anybody says. I know he's got a lot of boyfriends in this building, and it's not personal with Joe. I like Joe. He's a good guy. I said that the other day. I'll say it again. I don't know why I have to keep doing that because there's a difference. See, I'm trying to point out to you there's a difference. Now, with Mo as opposed to with Joe, with Mo it's business and it's personal because he's a major asshole with no sense of humor. With a gigantic, big, puffed-up ego like a big buffo toad, man. A big, big, fat ego. That's Mo. That's why you don't want Mad Dog saying too much on there. He must have crapped his paddle. They must have had to change his goddamn depends at the end of the game there. Not because the Dolphins pulled it out and Olindo Mare kicked that great 53-yard field goal, but because when the Mad Dog went nuts.
Yes! Yes!
And I'll say, we thought that Rick Weaver had a big ego, which he did. But at least he kind of tried to blend in a little bit with the Mad Dog.
Holy Toledo! All right.
See the difference? I want to play that again.
Holy Toledo! All right.
See? All right. Of course, he's dead now, but, Now, he was okay, Rick. He was a prick.
I got along with him fine.
He was a prick.
Was he?
But yeah, he also had a gigantic ego. But the fact of the matter is, number one, he was the greatest broadcaster ever to the Dolphins. I don't care what anybody says, which he did win our poll except for those phony votes. He was good. He smelled very bad. He had very bad personal hygiene. That was number two. And number three, he was just self-absorbed and self-centered. But even on a personal level, he was a better guy than this guy. You could get along with him. He had a sense of humor.
Got along with him fine.
Yeah, I did too.
Professional.
Right. And even, what a shock it was when we took our show over there to that station, and he didn't have any problem with it. Even took his commentary off there in the beginning. I don't know if you remember, but in the beginning they had that noon hour loaded up. There was Paul Harvey in there and all this. I said, hey guys, this ain't gonna fly. And like the second day, even Bill Wise, that Yahoo, took all that stuff out of there. He didn't care, but he'd give a crap. So see, there's the difference, folks, between a guy that wants to be the center of attraction all the time and don't want anybody else saying 5 words and a guy who at least, in spite of his fame and fortune...
Holy Toledo! All right.
See what I'm saying? That's a team. 27 past noon at 560 WQAM. If you're overworked, underpaid, if you're stuck in a crappy dead-end job and underappreciated, do yourself a big favor. Please pick up that phone and call the nice people at Fast Train at their toll-free number 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. The demand for certified computer professionals has never been bigger than it is right now, and Fast Train can help you achieve a new career in as little as 4 months. Fast Train is South Florida's largest certified Microsoft training center with locations in Pembroke Pines, Fort Lauderdale, Kendall, and Miami. Fast Train offers convenient day, evening, and weekend classes for you, too, so you can fit it into your schedule. Fast Train's got full-time job placement department with over 30 years experience, so if you're overworked, underpaid, underappreciated, stuck in a dead-end job, any of these things or all of the above, don't wait another moment. Pick up the phone and call Fast Train, 866-FAST-TRAIN. Just think about it. In 4 short months, you can be on your way to becoming a high-paid computer professional in a career with great earning potential. Take my advice. Pick up that phone and call Fast Train at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. That's 1-866-FAST-TRAIN, or check them out on the web if you like at fasttrain.com. Be sure and tell them that Todd Direct told you to call, because if you do, they'll give you the number for Steve M.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Gas.
Condoleezza, Chevron Mooley. With your funky yellow teeth so far apart. Condoleezza, what you be doing? It's neo-fascist like that token Schwarz's dog. Is you dead 'cause you a high-toned boot-lip Negro? Is you the blackie and you
a mammy who be smart, 'cause they like how you shine their shoes underneath all the way you wash and park the whitest cars. Georgie Jr. said he trusts you, Condoleezza, to sell our allies on the greedy oil wall. But then he make you clean all the White House bathrooms, the tub, the sink, the toilet, and then scrub the floor. They tell you don't wear sandals, Condoleezza. Your cold chip toenails make them wanna retch and puke. Your nappy leg hair look just like it be Velcro. The GOP want you to be their token spook. One day while you be flipping pancakes, you may realize that they're treating you just like your Esther Roll. That's when your head will move from side to side, Condoleezza. And tell Bush and Rummy they be cracker assholes. Yes.
1234 560 WQM. The Mad Dog will be here at 1, and then you can call him and tell him that you want Mo, what is it? Mo Mad and less Mo. Isn't that what they want? So PR Ralph faxes me this. How come we didn't have any woman call to give me the information? The only woman we had all day was that one that I hung up on again, just like I did a year ago, that's giving me a song to dance about how Bush was rubbing his hands together with glee after 9/11. That bitch. Which goes to show you, but like I've always told you, there's a handful of callers. Look at out of 2.5 hours today that I've been taking calls, or whatever, it's been 3.5. Look at how many of these people. I'm not saying they're all bad either, but look at how many of them we know who they are. Follow what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Know them well.
Oh, man. Including ones that were on for like about a half a second. Guiding light. Alan sneaks out of the hospital to access the Spalding file. Saw that. Alex, and I changed my mind. Joan Collins is doing a good job on that show. I hate to tell you that. I know you hate her like poison, and I generally do too, but she's an obnoxious bitch, and that's what she's playing. She's doing a good job.
She's really hard on the eyes.
Yeah. And Alexandra finds Alan at home. Philip is stunned when he learns Olivia plans to marry Alan in the hospital. Cassie dreams about Richard, who tells her to thank Reva. Cassie panics when she receives another black rose. Cassie learns that Olivia spent the money she planned on for paying off the mob. Mara moves in with Bill, Ben, and Remy. Gus charms Alexandra. Tony yells at Eden for missing work but doesn't fire her. Harley tells Gus that Eden's part of the blackmailing ring. Gus is furious when he learns Harley pretended to be Eden to learn about her past. There you go, that's it. When she was in the flop house there in Chicago. So that's the update. I guess we don't have any women out there listening, or at least not that are going to call me, certainly, and give me any information, except that one that wants to repeat the same thing I hung up on her a year ago about, and I hung up on her again. Nice going, Neil. Oh! Excellent. Silly bitch. WQAM. 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 WQAM.
Hey, let's talk to Neil, please.
Speaking.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay.
I'm glad you're taking calls again, although I don't have no complaints about your other format.
Yeah, well, this won't last too long.
I got a couple thoughts about Falwell and the bombings in Indonesia and elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a Bush supporter, but what a perfect opportunity this is for Bush to come out and not only distance himself from the far right wing of his party.
Ain't gonna happen, man. Not gonna happen. You're dreaming.
Not only could he distance himself from Falwell and all of this rhetoric, but he could also use the opportunity to, on the other hand, demonstrate, why freedom is so great in America. And you know what I'm saying, the old cliche, I can't stand what you're saying, but I'll defend your right.
Sir, he's not going to come out and alienate the constituency that put him there in the first place. He's not going to do that. That's where he's at now. He's locked in.
This statement by Falwell is so far removed from anything that.
Well, let me ask you something, sir. It was aired on 60 Minutes a week ago last night, so that's 8 days ago now. Have you heard the president say anything to repudiate it or reject it?
Not a peep. And this
right,
is a
and you won't.
Opportunity.
And you won't.
The other thought I had is it's too bad. It's the perfect opportunity to demonstrate what freedom in America is all about.
Yeah, okay, thank you. You said that about 4 times. This guy don't want to get it. He doesn't want to understand it. Sir, you don't want to get it. freedom used to be about in America. You're living in the past, sir. That's all I can tell you. You're living in the past. They want to Christianize America. That's what this whole business about religious-based charities and all this other bullcrap. More tax breaks for the religious right, more opportunity for them to interfere in government. That's what it's all about. And that's why these people are having all the rallies and trying to get. It's only 3 weeks from tomorrow is going to be the election, boys and girls, and these people have got their troops all whipped up into a frenzy again because they got the keys to the kingdom now and they're going to run with it on the road to Armageddon. See, that's another reason it's so pleasant to be in Canada.
The radioactive cloud will fall on you just the same.
No. We got it blocked at the CN Tower. It's going to all fall into Lake Ontario. Watch out in Rochester. You're going to be in big trouble. Here's a fax that says, I'm scared schmittless over these callers. That asteroid can't hit soon enough for me. Todd in Hollywood says, P.S. The callers eat beagle ass. And then he quotes, I'm getting all the what and none of the why. Mo mad, less mo. There you go. That's what we want, less mo. In fact, I don't know why you people are such a bunch of pussies. You're calling me and ripping them an ass, which is okay with me. But call them up tomorrow morning and say, hey, listen, how come you don't want to let the Mad Dog say nothing? You jackass. Right. Why don't you go along there like Mr. Weber did, okay, and be like a team on there?
All right! Holy Toledo. All right.
That's the way you do it. Now, did you tell that story on the air about why he lost that job at Westwood One allegedly?
Of course not. I just found out Friday afternoon.
Well, what's the story in a nutshell? Is that he was at the Masters at Atlanta golf tournament?
Right.
Covering it for Westwood One. This is alleged, by the way. This is the story we're hearing in the building.
And one of the Westwood One bigwigs wanted him to do a little bit of a crossover with someone else.
Right.
And he told him no, it wasn't part of his contract. And the guy asked him again, really nice. He said, look, I understand it's not part of your contract, but it would really be nice and helpful, get a little bit of cross-promotion, something like that. This is just a story I got. And he said, no, F that. It's not part of my effing contract. And no, I'm not going to effing do that.
No, because he's a big shot, man.
And walked off, and that was it.
That was the beginning of the end.
The ball started rolling right there.
Well, how do you like that? It sure comes as a great surprise to me. Not.
But that's just what I heard.
An ego the size of the universe. Again, that's just alleged. We emphasize that emphatically, but nevertheless, that's what the rumor is around town. 20 before 1 at 560 WQAM. We all have different lifestyles, therefore need different products to make us feel better and be healthier. Oleomed Mediterranean formulas are advanced combinations of pharmaceutical-grade olive oil with vitamins, minerals, herbals, and other great nutrients in them, scientifically designed to provide natural nutrition solutions to help you support specific health needs. Now, you can go out there and look for your black nuts, or you can try Oleomed. Wasn't that what the guy said?
Black walnuts.
Black walnut juice. Look for Oleomed's 3 new formulas, which are sleep, weight management, and CoQ10, all using the benefits of pharmaceutical-grade olive oil. Oleomed's an outstanding and exciting and effective new product, which is available at Publix, Eckerd's, and Walgreens. If you'd like to get more information, call Oleomed at 1-866-OLEOMED. That's 1-866-653-6633. And don't forget, you can also order their products online if you like at OleomedAmerica.com. And if you visit your nearest Publix and purchase an Oleomed product in Broward-Dade County, you'll receive a coupon for a free Larry Coker bobblehead doll. All right. While supplies last. And don't forget to visit their sampling pavilion at Sportstown every Sunday when the Dolphins are playing home. Pick up free Oleomed samples and product information. Start feeling healthy right now. Get some Oleomed and start feeling like a human being.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
Holy Toledo. All right.
560 WQAM and Closet Gate Portals are saying down with Ricky Williams and up with Elvis.
Goodbye. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I want you to know I'm Elvis. Goodbye. For all you sport holes.
Oh, squeeze my jockstrap tied up. Oh, squeeze my sport hole buns. Yeah. Squeeze my jockstrap. Golden fish, won't you? Golden fish, let's go find a hidden place in the locker room where you can spray my face. He's a sport hole in track from the closet he's out. On a root for his team like a sport hole day. You want a sport jock's legs wrapped around your neck. You like them better than girls and the smell of sweat. You want their brown hole close to your nose. You want a sport jock's leg wrapped around your neck. Sport holes wannabe, bench over check. If they could get sweaty jocks to fill their ass down there, oh let it be. The Chicago Bears. I want a bunya sport hole ball. I want a bunya sport hole ball.
What's he
Move
saying?
over, Ricky Williams. Our dozen or so man-watching sport bag listeners want Elvis Gerbach to noodle their doodle hole. 560 WQAM. Proud to be your official Elvis Gerbach Sport Hole headquarters.
Yeah, we were through that last time I played that, but I know he's not saying what it sounds like he's saying. But you know what it sounds like he's saying?
What?
It's 12:45 at 560 WQM. Our friend Rich Pachter, another one out of control. Boy, these people are something, you know. Look at that, whipped up into a frenzy with another fax. Joe Angel is Colombian. That's why he rolls his R, says Rich Pachter. Roll up the rim. Yeah, they got a spot in Canada up there. Roll up the rim to win. But that's Scottish. Scottish, where they have those kilts. In fact, I've seen some of those guys with the kilts and the big socks. Yeah, it was Prince, what's his name? Charles. Kilts and high stockings that come up to like their crotch, up to their black nuts. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon line. 452 votes on that poll. President Bush's approval rating is about 63%. What do you like about him the most? Absolutely nothing. He's a disaster. 200 and, it's changing again. Come on. 285, 62.9%. 63%, which leaves 37%. You following? You see this? Put this in connection with that poll we had on Friday, and there was a couple of real suspect calls, as transparent as a pane of glass. Oh, yeah, well, you know, there's all this other stuff, you know, it gets really ponderous, all those articles about Bush and bashing Bush. Now that hockey season started, have we had one call about hockey?
No.
The undefeated, well, they did lose in overtime, but the Panthers with 3 points in 2 games?
No.
No. Of course not, because there ain't no interest. There's no knowledge, there's no interest, there's no nothing. But please, please talk about anything. Don't you go on there and tell the truth. Don't you go on there and like this old the Bushmeisters. Because that's un-American. And all the gun squeezers, too. We never even got to any of those stories today. The snipers. Crazy people with guns, man, and the public. Oh, yeah, well, not going to take away our guns. WQAM.
You can't wait.
WQAM. WQAM.
Hello, Neil.
Yes.
Always good to hear you, Neil.
Here I am.
Two things. I wanted to talk to you. Did you see those commercials voting on smoking, whether to ban smoking in public restaurants and stuff like that? I don't know if that's going to happen here in Florida or not.
In Weston, you can't even smoke in your house. You can't smoke in the boys' room.
Because I keep on seeing commercials saying vote yes on this number or for something like that, whether to ban smoking in restaurants. I was just wondering if that pertained to South Florida or somewhere else, another state or not.
They're going to, all these anti-smoking, these militants, they're going to do it everywhere. Pretty soon smoking a cigarette will be like smoking a joint in public. You'll wind up going to jail for 5 to 10.
I mean, I have nothing against smokers. I mean, I used to smoke myself, but I mean, when you're in a restaurant and you're enjoying a good meal, the last thing you want to do is smell smoke when you're enjoying, like a good steak.
Unless it's a good cigar.
I mean, cigars are cool, but
Yeah.
I mean, the people that smoke them are, they're that way. They have that little attitude.
They're that way?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the actual
People
cigar.
who smoke cigars are gay.
No. They're just that, that machismo,
Yeah, like me. I'm pretty macho.
No, you're an exception, Neil. We love you.
Yeah.
And another thing, this pretty good book came out. It's called Cuba Confidential. It's a pretty good, objective, unbiased look at the hardline exiles and Fidel Castro.
Oh, God, I don't want to hear about them.
No, but actually...
Oh! That's
the
one
lady who wrote
of
the
the reasons I despise being back here is those freaking exiles. I saw Rosanna Dana on there the other night. I wanted to puke.
Actually, I mean, I'm a pretty young guy, and I didn't realize that there are actually a lot of hardline exiles that were actually put in jail for bombing places. So, I mean...
No kidding.
I totally did not know that, and I really don't want to know that Cubans have something in common with these crazy Palestinians, And actually, we do. So
but these people weren't suicide bombers. These were people that just they were
hit-and-run
artists.
We were smarter, I guess. Than
There you go.
Palestinians, but still, like that wacko. What was his name? Bosch.
Well, that's because the Cubans couldn't find 7 virgins. Have a great day, pal.
You too.
See ya. 567. Now, how come this thing is acting up again? You know,
I don't know.
I'm ready to take this goddamn fax machine and Schmidt can, and even though it's mine, I can do whatever I want with it. God damn it. Christ. I left here in August. That thing was working magnificent, just like clockwork. So I don't know what you did with it.
Yeah, threw it to the floor.
I don't know what Carlos did with it while I was
Threw it
gone.
out the window.
Must have potchkied around with it, man. Carlos, that sent me
It's just
still.
been, little by little, more sheets
Slowly
would come
but
through,
surely,
and more
like
sheets
big
would come
chunks
through.
of paper are coming out. Instead of one sheet, then it's two, and then it's five, and it's like then the whole ream of paper comes through there every time a fax prints out.
Ream.
When in doubt, ream it out. Now here's one, fella. Look at that. Oh, it's Big Dick's halfway in. It's signed Luis, L-U-I-S. Well, you know, Luis, all those guys, one of your people. They're looking for Big Dick's highway in. WQAM.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
Joe Zagacki, Jay Fiedler. Who would you rather sleep with?
WQAM.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to talk about something that's really frosting my fat ass.
Yes?
You mentioned the sniper. Why do media types have to give these people monikers? Have you heard on, like, Fox, they have to be calling him on 610 this morning I heard the tarot card sniper.
Oh.
The Beltway killer.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the guy that kid that was bombing mailboxes and
Right.
stuff, that they had to call him the smiley face bomber.
Right.
Because he was trying to make the pattern on the map.
Mm-hmm.
It drives me crazy.
Well,
Why
see,
do they do that?
it's like a self-fulfilling thing because they want to have more and more of these copycat kind of assholes, so they have more to put on the air.
That
Good
really
for their
bothers
ratings.
me. It irritates the hell out of me. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay.
Thanks. It's nice to have you back.
Thanks.
Bye.
Watch out for the, what was the guy, in California, the Strangler, what the hell they call him?
Oh.
That Julio. Whatever. Well, they'll come to us. Whatever the hell his name was. So they called him the Chicano, the crazy spick. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. We got the Mad Dog coming along at 1 o'clock, who's pretty fired up and pissed off, not only because Jay Fiedler's got a broken thing, but also because of the fact he got stepped on there at the end of the game. He's acting a little gay, if you ask me. Tim and Mo are having like a little contretemps, aren't they? No? Don't you think that would be great? Like getting into a brawl right in the middle of a Dolphin broadcast, like trying to grab the mic away from each other. Here's my turn. Oh, God damn it. Huh?
I'd listen to that.
Yeah, even George would tune in for that. Hey, don't forget to join the overnight guys, Joe and Mark, tonight for our Monday Night Football extravaganza, 9 to 11 at Gatsby's in Boca. Stop by for prices, enjoy specials on Crown Royal. It's the 49ers at Seattle tonight at Gatsby's in Boca. Kind of a unappetizing matchup, you know what? Maybe they'll show you some good naked pictures of Moses. Hey, you know, there's never been a better time to buy a new home or refinance your existing home. How about a rate of 3.95%? That's correct. Financial Group can offer you an unprecedented 3.95% by picking up that phone and calling Financial Group toll-free 1-800-940-LEND. That's 1-800-940-5363. The money you're going to save is unbelievable. Think about it. You can get yourself $100,000 for only $450 a month, or get $200,000 for only $950 a month, like I said. The process is simple. You'll save thousands of dollars each year. So pick up the phone and call our good paisans at Financial Group, 1-800-940-LEND. There's never been a better time to get you a low interest rate. Call Financial Group and you'll be on your way to saving a ton of cash. Financial Group is an equal housing lender. Credit restrictions do apply and rates are subject to change. So call right now, toll free, 1-800-940-LEND, and they'll explain it to you how this works. 1-800-940-5363.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
What is dirty?
And that's why I think the Jets will have a championship season.
The Jets?
And what did I tell you? You don't talk till I say you can talk.
This is the Beast.
I said shut up, fatso.
But you're like a father to me.
You don't talk till I'm done talking. When I'm done talking, then you talk.
Okay, I'll...
Hey, Beast, come here.
What?
Come here. I want you to meet a friend of mine, Mr. Golf Club. Why, I oughta... Damn, I've got to show you the business end of this thing. Come here. This court sentences you to 20 years in Oz. What you in for? I tore a tag off my mattress. Looks like we'll be bunkmates. The name's Mohammed David. Star of stage screen in paradise. What's yours? Nick owes me coffee. You got so tan. Nice, thank you. Hey, get out. What are you doing? So powder drill, honey. I'm going to make you my woman. Ain't nobody going to stop it. God, Pinky. All right, shower time. You got 10 minutes.
What else to be safe in here?
Yo, Bowtie.
Yo, man.
Hello to our new Linda Blair over there.
Hey, so pretty.
Okay.
Hey, don't embarrass me like that.
Do you know who I am?
So come and bend over and pick it up now.
All right, but I expect a written apology on my desk month.
That broom handle, Bowtie.
Hello, broom hand. I'll take the front.
The warden will see you now.
Thanks.
Well, Mr. David.
Hello, Warden.
Oh, Jack Warden. How can I help you?
Well, you see, Warden.
Yes?
I keep getting raped.
Oh, isn't that a shame? I'll look into it right away.
Thanks, Warden. It's about time somebody...
Now drop your pad.
Huh?
I said drop your pad. This is Oz. Favors don't come cheap.
Yo, let's rate Mo. Radio Big Shot. That's how we pass the time away in the gay old jail of Oz.
12:57 at 560 WQM. Mad Dog standing by. Hank will be doing a show out at Chula's this afternoon. With Nat Moore, 5 to 6. I don't see Patrick Surtain on the agenda for this week. Like I said, once you change your name like that, like Tony Dorsett becomes Tony Dorsett, once you change the way you'll be pronouncing your name, then you get to be too big to be coming in for these hour here and hour there. You know, at the kind of rates they're paying in this place. Forget about that. Then we got Hurricane Hotline tonight with he's scintillating, who I'm sure will be like whipped up into a frenzy about that nail-biting Hurricane victory over the Seminoles on Saturday. Pretty exciting stuff, although this crowd dead as a doornail as usual. WQAM.
Hey, George.
Yeah.
George, listen, a bunch of us are going to start pronouncing Howard's last name David until he can get Marae's name right.
Howard David.
Howard David.
No, David.
David?
Yeah, David, like Mogan David. See, obviously a goy, huh? You don't get it. Mogan David? You get that, don't you?
Sure.
WQAM. WQAM. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi, can I speak to Neil?
Speaking.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Great.
Neil, I heard last week you were having problems with your DSL and Bell South and whatnot.
Yeah.
And somebody had sent you some information on Empower.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, be careful when you change because these companies, they all go through Bell South, and
right.
we use Empower, and anytime we have a problem, they send the Bell South guy out. And usually the right hand doesn't know what the left is doing.
Right.
And it's been horrible.
We already got that here at QAM, so we don't need somebody else who don't know what they're doing.
Well, great, Neil. I just wanted to warn you.
Thanks for the good news.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
So whatever you do, don't call that Empower guy. He meant well, I guess, we think, although you never can be too sure.
I called
but,
him.
Yeah, George already called him and said, nah, it's a lot of money, and it's just
it.
a bunch of Bell South stepchildren. And then, of course, Spiro Canton there at Bell South, he called and left a message, and George tried to get back to him, and he kind of like danced around it and didn't bother, okay? Once we passed the blame off onto, who was it? Oh, Netscape. That's right,
there
Netscape. Sorry. I'll tell you, everybody's having internet problems. There's something going on. You know, I don't want to get anybody panicky or nervous, something like that. But there's something going on, and believe me when I tell you, it ain't good. You understand what I'm saying? 472 votes on a poll and 63% plus say Georgie W. Absolutely nothing. He's a disaster. They can't find nothing they like about him, even them big ears.
Bye. The Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
If there's a but, I smell it.
Yes.